Uh, Hello, good morning to all of you. How are you all feeling? How many of you are appearing for prelims? Okay, so yes, this year, I mean in 17. So first of all, I'd like to thank all of you for coming. I know your time is very precious right now, and that's why I think a lot of people uh, are probably watching this live online. And so I'll just start with my thoughts about what has happened in the past 5 days and how this journey has been. So it has been a long journey for me. This is my fourth attempt, and for first three attempts I had public administration as my optional, and this year I changed my optional to political science. So, apart from that, let me just talk about my background a little bit. So, I'm a mechanical engineering graduate from Delhi College of Engineering. I passed out in 2013, and after that, I started preparing. So, I took the 13, 14, 15, and 16 attempts. And my father serves in the Indian Air Force. He is currently posted in Bathinda. So, I'm an avid tennis follower. Roger Federer is my idol. So, for a few of you who probably follow a bit of tennis, this year has been good for both of us. So, he won his 18th slam this year, and I got rank 7. So apart from that, I'll just like to talk about uh, my preparation. So, we'll talk about that in detail. I'll be covering a few aspects about the essay and GS prelims, and a bit of answer writing, which Shweta will take up later. And I'd like to congratulate Anuj. She's a brilliant person. She's cleared in her first attempt with rank 16. And I think she has all India highest marks in GS. 473 is her total in GS. She has beaten me by 3 marks. So I have 470 as my total. So to begin with, I'll just share with you about my 4 attempts and how the journey has been. So first attempt, I cleared prelims all 4 times. First attempt, I missed the mains cutoff by around 45 marks. So in my next attempt, I missed it by around 20 marks, I think. In my third attempt, I cleared it. I cleared mains by 25 marks, reached the interview, did not make it to the final list. And this attempt, I think I cleared it by 100 or 120 marks. So basically, why I'm sharing this with you is because it has been an incremental journey for me. And with each attempt, I've gotten better. So anyone who tells you that this exam is random or luck-based is lying, basically. Because hard work pays off, and if you correct your mistakes that you've done in the past, not necessarily in an attempt, those mistakes can be in your test series, whether it be GS or prelims, or in your preparation, first of all. So because of this, I think I've experienced failure at almost, all the stages basically, except the prelims. So coming out of failure once, that is a huge disappointment. Once your whole year of efforts do not yield anything, and that is the thing about this exam. Even if you reach the interview and come back, you get nothing. You stand in line again and prepare for prelims. So that has been the feeling. But again, I would say that persistence and perseverance pays off. You have to wait for your time. You have to be patient. And all of you sitting here are brilliant, and all of you have the capacity to be rank 1 or be in the top 10. And anything that you dream of, any service that you dream of, it's within your reach. Because standing here in front of all of you, I feel privileged, because I'm a thoroughly ordinary person, and I've done thoroughly ordinary things to be here. And that's why I firmly believe that all of you who have come here and are planning to get into the coveted services, you're already very special, because this is not an easy career to choose. and not an easy path to follow. So I'm pretty sure all of you will achieve your dreams and in the best manner possible. So to start with, I would just say that from my experience, I mean, obviously we have more brilliant minds like Anuj who will share with you how to clear it in the first attempt, and I sure hope all of you do that. But what I would like to say is, because I have attempted it 4 times, I sort of understand where we can go wrong, and that filtered wisdom of 4 years I'm here to share with you, so that you don't make the same mistakes again, and you have a better chance of making it. So first of all, I think when you're starting preparing, so how many of you will take the first attempt this year or the next year? Okay, almost all of you, right? So the prime question that is like how to start at the first level. What is ground zero for this exam? How to approach everything? So let me just start by talking about GS prelims, first of all, because that is the first stage and that's the diciest stage actually. Now that CSAT is not there, I think that was a paper where you could practice and score more marks and hence ensure that you cleared prelims. But now that's not the case. So I cleared it in 13 and 14 and my CSAT score was good. And in 14 and 15 there was no CSAT, sorry, 15 and 16 there was no CSAT, so it's only GS now, right? So again, GS, it's because it's an objective stage, you are either correct or incorrect, and you have to be very careful about how many questions you're attempting. You need to sort of crystallize that strategy before going to attempt the exam. And how do you do it? How do you approach it? So the number one thing is to understand the requirement of the exam. Because for any exam you take, whether it be UPSC or CAT or any other exam, you need to understand what is being expected of you. Because here it's very easy to go wrong. It's very easy to think that you need to go through a lot of study material and a lot of books to have that knowledge base. But in reality, you can actually restrict your sources and optimize your preparation and do very well with that. So, the people who clear in their first attempt get their strategy right, basically. And if you get your strategy right in time and you sort of stick to that throughout your preparation, you are going to do great. So the first step, I think, like I said, understanding the requirement of the exam. If you have access to somebody who has cleared, whether it be from your college or your family, please speak to them. Please value their experience. Please understand how they approached things. And for prelims, I would say that the sources are pretty fixed. Everyone knows about what books are to be read, and none of the toppers have read any other books than you have. Whether it be Bipin Chandra or Lakshmikant or environment, NCRTs, everything remains the same, right? But the key lies in prelims. You have to make very sure that you remember everything. So one challenge is to put everything in your recallable memory. And so first of all, let's just welcome Shweta. And so, little clapping, thank you. Hi. She's rank 8. We have the same marks, actually. Yeah, the total is the same. So I'm not sure how UPSC ranks in case of equal marks. So anyway, so I was talking about prelims and the sources. So your sources are restricted, but your challenge is to go back to them again and again and in the right time frame. So, if you read something today and you don't revise it for a week, it goes away. And it happens to the best of us. Actually, so last year when I did not clear the interview and I had prelims in August. So I picked up Lakshmikant and, I was a little disillusioned. Ki yaar, how many times do I have to revise this thing? Because I've done it 4 times. Vipin Chandra I've read, I don't know, 5 times. But, with every time I read it, there is something new. Every time I read it, that sort of database that it gets renewed again And I have more and more confidence to the extent that for this attempt I didn't read Bipin Chandra at all, because I was pretty sure I'll be able to manage it. So revision is very important, and you should plan, and planning is very important, because the syllabus is so huge. Unless you break it down, unless you understand what is needed. So let's say for prelims, the other thing that you need to do, the second thing basically after understanding the sources and understanding that this is enough, do not run after a lot of sources. The second requirement I think is looking at past years' papers. A lot of us do that, I know, but a bit of analysis along with merely looking at what questions have been asked will help you, because UPSC likes to be unpredictable. It likes it very much, actually. So, in last year prelims, I think, how many of you have seen the prelims paper from last time? Almost all of you. So, you saw the weightage of current affairs suddenly spiked, and there was no polity, there was no geography. So it's hazardous to think that 15 questions polity से आएंगे, 20 questions geography से आएंगे, तो इतने तो sorted हैं, इसके बाद हम कर लेते हैं, जो भी है. So the point is that you cannot leave anything. UPSC can, I think 2014 in prelims, there were a lot of questions on culture, which is, an ignored portion, and people think कि cost benefit कम है. But in your limited time, you have to make sure that you have a basic knowledge of all the aspects. You cannot strategize by saying that my environment पढ़ लूँगा and I'll be fine. You won't be fine, because probably, let's say this year, UPSC decides to ask more polity or more current. So you're getting what I'm saying. So the point is that do not distribute your effort, plan your effort so that you devote time to each of the things. Do not leave anything to chance, because as it is chance hai, that's already there in the process, it's embedded in the process. So don't inflate it. वो जो थोड़ा सा है वो उतना ही रहने दो. You do what you can do with all the sources that are available to you in the market or otherwise, or the sources that you already know of. Please go back to them. Please just revise, because prelims में you cannot afford to, mains में you can probably afford to miss out a few points, एक दो चीज़ें याद नहीं आई, but you can still write a good answer, but that cannot be done in prelims. So that is the second aspect, about understanding what questions have been asked and क्या bend है questions का, क्या scope है. So once you're reading the newspaper, trust me, after 4 or 5 months, you'll be able to segregate the article that is important for prelims point of view or mains point of view or overall. So, that knowledge comes with understanding कि क्या पूछा गया है in the past. That is the second aspect. And the third aspect for prelims, which I think is the most important and the most neglected, at least I neglected it for a while, that is taking tests. I know it's very general, it's very common knowledge that you have to take tests. But please just don't take tests. When you are taking a test and you are scoring, let's say 90 marks or 110 marks, and that those scores can vary, because the quality of tests are different, and probably if it is art and culture test, you're not that great at it, so you don't score well. And if it is a polity test, you can pamper yourself कि 120 आ गए हैं, right? But the real paper will be the full test, right? So जो भी आपके scores आ रहे हैं, just try to find out a pattern कि हो क्या रहा है. How many questions are you attempting? How many are you getting right? Because see, every individual has a certain accuracy. So in my case, probably it is around 70%. So in case I attempt 10 questions, I'll get 7 right with a good preparation. And in my 4 attempts in prelims, for the initial 2 attempts, my GS was not very strong, but CSAT pulled me through, to be honest. But in 15 and 16, I paid special attention to GS because सिर्फ वही था. So CSAT wasn't there. So for GS, I scored, I think, 130 marks in 2016. And the cutoffs you all have seen are climbing, because everyone is getting more competitive. The exam is getting tougher, basically. So जो भी आप टेस्ट देते हैं, जो भी आपके स्कोर्स आते हैं उसमें, प्लीज़ मेक अ नोट ऑफ व्हाट वेंट रॉन्ग, हाउ मच डिड यू स्कोर, कितना एक्यूरेसी है, कितने अटेम्प्ट करने पे कितने आ रहे हैं. एंड वाई आई एम सेइंग दिस इज बिकॉज इट डिफर्स फ्रॉम इंडिविजुअल टू इंडिविजुअल. I, for 15 and 16, which were only the GS uh, in the prelims, I attempted 77 questions in my both attempts. It was a coincidence. I wasn't planning on attempting only those same number of questions. But I think that there are always 20 to 25 questions which are very tough for everyone, which probably you can make out कि a lot of people will not know about, right? So please understand that prelims is not about topping. Prelims is about getting through the borderline, right? Just clearing the cutoff. So if you feel that a question is very tough, or it's a very obscure fact, in my opinion, it's better to leave it, because for example, in my 16 attempt, when I did 77 questions, I got 8 or 9 incorrect, and the rest of them were correct, because I largely attempted those I was sure about. And again, why I'm saying this strategy would differ from person to person. A lot of people you will meet, they like to attempt the whole paper, take chances and law of probability. So that works too. I'm not saying that doesn't work, but please find out what works for you. Because unless you know yourself, unless you know what is your tendency, so some people have a tendency of attempting more, right? Being a little more risky. So, and sometimes that pays off. So, कोई set strategy नहीं है. I'll not tell you to attempt only less than 80 questions or less than 70 questions. That depends on you. But to find that out, you have to work hard. You have to take tests and understand where you're going wrong. For the prelims perspective, of course, we'll take questions at the end also in case you have any specifics. But from the prelims perspective, I think these 3 points which I talked about are the most important. And the next thing I want to focus on is the mains. And within the mains, the essay part especially. So since I've written 4 mains, again, I scored, I think, 133 in one, 126 in one, and this time I've scored 148. This time the essay scores have been higher in general, and a lot of people have scored more than 150 also. So 158 is the highest I have heard till now. So now, how should we approach the essay? How should we make sure that we write a good essay? Because with the knowledge of GS, once you're prepared for GS, once you're writing mains, you already have a database of knowledge. You already have a sound understanding of how various things are interlinked and how they come together. So essay, I think, is largely about weaving all of that knowledge together in that limited space and time. So now there are fixed answer booklets, like fixed space answer booklets. So you need to take care about the length of your essay, number 1, and the content, obviously. And the third thing, which is very important, which I think that all of us would feel even if we were checking the essay, is the flow. Because for a person who's reading your essay, if he feels that आपने एक point यहाँ mention किया है, which is probably a demerit, and then you've talked about something else, and then आपको एक और demerit याद आता है, and then you mention it somewhere else. So the flow breaks. You are not coherent, basically. So coherence is, in fact, the most important point of the essay. And to achieve that, all I have done in my 3 attempts is to plan again. So अब 2 essay लिखने होते हैं, 3 hours होते हैं. So basically you have 1.5 hours for each essay. So I spent half an hour in planning, what to write. So in the rough sheet that you have at the end, please jot down the topics that you are thinking to include. Please jot down कि आपको क्या लग रहा है कि क्या include करना चाहिए. And please make it coherent. जो सब कुछ याद आ रहा है, spend time, do not panic. 1 hour is enough to write one essay of 1200 words. So half an hour में plan कर लीजिए कि कहाँ पे क्या लिखना है आपको, क्या flow रखना है, पहले क्या लिखना है, बाद में क्या लिखना है. And how to do that? I mean, theoretically, it's all very good कि plan करना है and then लिखना है. But how do you do it? So, for example, this time there was an essay about need and greed. I think a lot of you saw it. How many of you saw it? Okay, not a lot. So you got to be seeing the mains also. Mains papers भी देखने हैं आपको. So the need and greed essay, for example, it was a very common thing. A lot of us know about it. So choosing the essay topic is also, I'll come to that in the next part. But I chose that because actually I sort of messed up my time management. I was not able to decide between two essays in section A, and that took a lot of my time. And that's why my marks are a little lesser than what they could have been. But how to plan that a particular essay is, let's say, need and greed wala essay hai. So just start from the basics. You do not need flowery language. You do not need very great command of the English language or whatever medium you're writing in. So just be simple. Just understand that simple is beautiful, and simplicity is the greatest sophistication also. So once you're thinking about this particular thing, let's say need and greed. So what is the first thing that comes to your mind? Sorry? Okay, so yeah, that's a little thoda sa aur complex. Let's make it a little more simpler. Yes, Mahatma Gandhi's quote, right? So that is the first thing that comes to your mind ki theek hai, ye who was the proponent of this particular ideal or this maxim? And it was Mahatma Gandhi. So probably you can talk about that. But again, the second thing is, everyone will be talking about that. Because everyone who is prepared, the first thing that would come to everyone's mind would be that. So nothing else came to my mind, so I wrote Mahatma Gandhi. But if something else comes to your mind, please understand that this is a relative exam. All of the 15,000 people who are writing mains, they are very experienced, they are very knowledgeable, and everyone knows almost what you know. So to stand out, you just have to think one step further. So if you think of Gandhi, then probably think of Martin Luther King as well, probably think of Abraham Lincoln as well. So if you remember a quote from them, it's very nice. You can start your essay with that. And if you start with Mahatma Gandhi, like I did, talk in brief about his idea and why he thought that the earth provides enough for every man's need but not for every man's greed. What was the philosophy behind it? His critique of Western philosophy, I mean, that's a little more of political science, but just his thought behind it, what he hoped to achieve, why he said this. And so the next aspect, after you have talked about, given a brief intro of what is the origin of that particular line or that thought, you go back to the topic again, and you break it down. You start to break it down. So what is need? For example, need and greed wale topic mein, the first thing we want to understand ki need kya hai, right? And how does it arise? How does human need arise? And so that is what I think talked about in my first subheading of the essay, that the origin of human need. And whatever is your knowledge base, whatever, for example, my optional was political science, so I had a bit of knowledge about how thinkers have placed human behavior, whether humans are selfish or self-driven, and so I mentioned a bit of that. But depending on your own learning and your own knowledge base of even GS is enough to sort of explore that topic. So for a page and a half, just talk about the topic, what it means to you, uske kya maine hai, what is need, what is greed, and then you start to look at things from every angle. So I had a very popular keyword and a strategy which I also used to share with my friends. It was called SPELT, socio, political, economic, legal, technical. So even without this, actually, even if you want to write about something, you will realize that invariably आप इन्हीं aspects की बात करेंगे on any topic, on any given topic. When you look at it from different angles, these are the angles that would emerge. So this was a framework around which you can sort of construct your essay. But आप again, coherence is necessary. अगर आप social issues की बात पहले कर रहे हैं, तो please finish that off. Please add everything that you can think social in that section itself, and then move to economic. Because if you include again social later, that will become incoherent, and the person who's reading, his flow will break. So apart from that, there are different axes. So this is one axis, socio-political economic. There is another axis, let's say individual, society, or moral, spiritual. So these are the different axes along which you can explore your essay. कि इसके moral dimensions क्या हैं, इसके practical dimensions क्या हैं, इंडिविजुअल को कैसे अफेक्ट करता है, सोसाइटी को कैसे अफेक्ट करता है. सो दैट स्ट्रक्चरिंग इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. सो अकॉर्डिंग टू मी, जैसे वंस यू हैव टॉक्ड अबाउट द टॉपिक अ लिटिल बिट, कि इसमें नीड का क्या मतलब है, ग्रीड का क्या मतलब है, देन प्रोबेबली यू गो ऑन टू एक्सप्लोर हाउ इट अफेक्ट्स द इंडिविजुअल इन द सोसाइटी. सो दैट इज़ द फर्स्ट एक्सिस अकॉर्डिंग टू मी दैट यू शुड एक्सप्लोर, because socio-political economic angles are more derived aspects, and these are more direct aspects of what you're talking about. So for example, how does individual need arise, what is societal need. Societal need होती है तो institutions होते हैं. We have our criminal justice system or the legislature. All of this is serving human need at the end of the day, right? And it is also preventing human need from going haywire. जो criminals होते हैं, so you know they also are acting according to their need only, but that's not good for the society. So the institutions we have built to protect everyone's needs so that everyone can progress, that part you can explore, the individual and the society part. And then the socio-political economic aspects, which will differ from topic to topic. For example, in this particular talk, what are the economic aspects you can think of need and greed? Can you think of something? Let's say connected with environment, exploitation of environment, and capitalism. You know that economics is not good for equity, so that's a little social. Economic disparity grows if you mindlessly follow your need, right? And profit-driven enterprise would lead to inequality. So that sort of a structure. You need to think laterally. You need to take a bird's eye view of things. जो immediate topic है उससे थोड़ा सा ऊपर निकल के you have to see what is going on. And the other thing I would like to say is, आपने पीछे structure बना रखा है, that's very well and good, but it's very difficult to sort of see कि हर एक topic में आपको कितना space devote करना है, because ultimately towards the end it should converge properly. It should not look like a jarred end कि आपने अचानक से ऐसे conclude कर दिया. So for the last 2.5 pages, the examiner should start getting a feeling कि आप conclude कर रहे हैं, that you are tying up the ends. You know जो चीज़ें आपने शुरू में बोली हैं, you are taking a stand on them, और basically अगर आपने negative positive aspects दोनों बोले हैं, so you're talking about the middle road, how to look at things with balance and totality, right? So please take a good care of the space, because I think there is only enough time to write it once. You know, some people have this opinion कि rough में पहले लिख लेंगे essay and then you'll go back, but इतना time होता नहीं है frankly. If you plan for half an hour, you have only 1 hour to write the essay. So you know practically cannot write the whole thing in a rough sheet and then go back to the. So स्पेस का बहुत ध्यान रखना है कि आप हर एक टॉपिक पे कितना डिवोट कर रहे हैं. आइडियली अगर आपने जैसे 10 टॉपिक्स लिस्ट डाउन किए हैं अपने रफ शीट में, तो थोड़ा सा ट्रैक रखिए, पीछे देखते जाइए, अच्छा ये टॉपिक है, आई विल डिवोट 1.5 पेज टू दिस, क्रॉस इट आउट, नेक्स्ट टॉपिक पे आइए. उससे क्या होगा कि कन्वर्ज होता रहेगा, एंड यू नो कि यू हैव आई थिंक 10 or 12 पेजेस टू राइट. एंड see why I'm talking about length is it's a very natural human tendency for any person. अगर आप ऐसे चेक करेंगे और 3 पेज लास्ट के खाली होंगे, तो you will get the feeling कि यार नहीं लिखा है सब कुछ, right? And I know that you know the handwriting differs from individual to individual. कुछ लोग बड़ा लिखते हैं, कुछ लोग, some people have a tiny handwriting, but you know unless you take care of your content, unless there is enough content in your essay, that will not make an impact, because the examiner will straight away think that you have written less than what it is. And it's very human, you know, you think about it, it's not at all subjective, it's very human to think that way. So इसीलिए please take care. I finished all of now I think 4 attempts I've written. In 13 there was only 1 essay, so I've written 7 essays in UPSC, and I've always finished on the last page, because you know that gives a good feeling to the examiner that, sort of that you've concluded everything, your thoughts are coherent, and within the limited space you have managed to tie up everything. So please take care of that. The next aspect I'll talk about is choosing the topic. So you must have heard बहुत लोगों से that you should choose an unconventional topic probably. कुछ ऐसे topics होंगे जो सब लोग choose करेंगे, which on the face of it appear बहुत simple, and some topics a lot of people will not take up. Like for example, this year there was an essay on the interstate disputes. So that is a little more specific for an essay. That's more like an answer. अगर आपने उसकी तैयारी भी की है तो probably you will be thinking कि 1-2 पेज लिख सकते हैं, but essay नहीं लिख सकते हैं इस पे. So how to choose that? So I'll share a secret with you. There is absolutely no advantage in choosing an essay that is off, which a lot of people will not choose, and there is absolutely no disadvantage in choosing an essay which everyone will write. So please don't bias yourself. Please understand that आपको 10 पेजेस तक क्वालिटी कंटेंट डिलीवर करना है. तो जहाँ पे भी आप कंफर्टेबल हैं, नीड ग्रीड बहुत सिंपल है. इफ़ यू आर कंफर्टेबल विद दैट, प्लीज़ राइट दैट. बिकॉज अगर आप अनचार्टर्ड टेरिटरी में जाएंगे तो ऑलरेडी प्रेशर होता है. द एसे इज़ द फर्स्ट पेपर, योर मेन्स इज़ द स्टार्टिंग. बाय द लास्ट पेपर यू आर सो यूज टू राइटिंग दैट यू डोंट थिंक अबाउट इट मच. लेकिन फर्स्ट पेपर में थोड़ा प्रेशर रहता है, एंड द एसे इफ़ यू मेस अप, बिकॉज दैट्स एन इम्पॉर्टेंट पेपर. सो इसीलिए डोंट प्रेशराइज योर सेल्फ, बी इन योर कम्फर्ट जोन. जो टॉपिक आपको लग रहा है कि आप अच्छे से अप्रोच कर सकते हैं, कवर कर सकते हैं, वही चूज़ कीजिए. और प्लीज़ डोंट थिंक दैट यू कैन नॉट स्कोर अगर आपने ये टॉपिक चूज़ किया है तो, बिकॉज एवरी टॉपिक. एंड सो दिस इज़ अ वेरी कॉमन मिथ अबाउट दिस एग्ज़ाम, वेदर जो इक्वालिटी की बात हम अदरवाइज कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में करते हैं, यहाँ पे वी डू टॉक अबाउट डिस्क्रिमिनेशन इन वन वे और द अदर when we're talking about the optionals, for example. So public administration, for example, does not work for a lot of people, right? But every year, in fact, in the top 10 there are at least 2 or 3 people. This time also I met 2 people who have PubAd as their optional. So ये जो bias है, ये जो discrimination है, interview में है कि one particular board you get, that means you are selected, अच्छे ही marks मिलेंगे. कोई ऐसा board है तो खराब ही marks मिलेंगे. Please end this bias and discrimination in your head. It is the fairest exam that is there, and the results speak for themselves. If you were to go back to the top 100 students of each year, not just this year, and look at their optionals or their boards, you will find that every optional and every board and every sort of an essay and every sort of a strategy has a way of succeeding in this exam. So इट इज़ ऑल्सो अबाउट इंडिविजुअलिटी, इट इज़ ऑल्सो अबाउट डाइवर्सिटी. कि अगर आपका कोई अप्रोच है तो इट इज़ योर ओन एंड प्लीज़ कैरी दैट फॉरवर्ड. मतलब फॉर करंट अफेयर्स फॉर एग्जांपल, दे विल बी टॉकिंग इन मोर डिटेल अबाउट दैट. लेकिन करंट अफेयर्स का अप्रोच करने का तरीका सब लोगों का अलग रहता है. अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल लाइक टू मेक नोट्स, एंड इन माई ओपिनियन यू शुड, बिकॉज इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू गो बैक टू न्यूज़ पेपर्स. अगर 10 दिन के न्यूज़ पेपर्स भी जमा हो जाएँ तो आपका मन नहीं करेगा to open them or read them again. So please make notes, and सबका तरीका अलग होता है. Some people like pen and paper notes, बहुत organized तरीके से वो लोग notes बनाते हैं. कुछ लोग होते हैं जो online notes बनाते हैं. Evernote बहुत digital friendly होते हैं. तो मैं थोड़ा I was somewhere in the middle. I used to note down everything in a Word document and print it later. So आपकी जो strategy है, just trust in it and carry it. Agar obviously if you feel that there are course corrections needed, so like in my case, once I had understood that I have invested enough time and effort in public administration and it was not giving me results. In my 3 attempts I scored maximum 206 marks, and that was pulling down my performance, because GS mein I used to score well, but because of the optional I was not able to go through. So please be rational. जो conventional wisdom है that is derived from the people who are preparing. You hear a lot of people, you talk to a lot of people, and they have a lot of things to say कि optional change करना नहीं चाहिए या ये particular optional नहीं लेना चाहिए. Please don't go by conventional wisdom, because conventional wisdom is conventional. Conventional people make it. So I think in 2014, Ananya Das, she got a rank of 16, and she had just started studying pol science in July that year, before she wrote mains in December. So I visited her blog when I started my preparation for this time. I was in a very similar situation as hers because I also had only 4 or 5 months to prepare my optional. So, what she had written was not conventional wisdom. So everyone would advise me against changing it because I had 3 years of study behind public administration. And probably it was suicidal to just change midway. But when I read her blog, I realized that it's okay because a lot of things in this exam are at an overall level. जो nitty gritty details हैं, they don't matter that much. So in mains, for example, why I'm saying this is, so in mains, for example, if you have a question about education, so you'll not be asked about a particular scheme or it simply, I mean, unless it is a very famous scheme like the Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan, which everyone knows about. एक कोई पर्टिकुलर स्कीम जो अभी स्टार्ट हुई है उसके बारे में एक्सप्लेन करने के लिए आपको नहीं आएगा 12.5 नंबर के लिए. सो इट विल बी एट एन ओवरऑल लेवल. तो अगर आपकी प्रिपरेशन में कभी ऐसे ब्रेक्स भी आ जाते हैं, कभी देयर आर टाइम्स व्हेन यू आर नॉट वेल, समटाइम्स यू नॉट एबल टू मैनेज, कुछ फैमिली प्रॉब्लम्स होती हैं, कुछ मिस हो जाते हैं, 2 महीने तक करंट अफेयर्स नहीं कर पाए, प्लीज़ अंडरस्टैंड इट विल नॉट मैटर मच. इफ़ यू कीप योर कन्विक्शन, इफ़ यू कीप अगर 2 महीने नोट्स नहीं बना पाए, आप सप्लीमेंट्स रेफ़र कर लीजिए. एंड आई थिंक विजन IAS करंट अफेयर्स बुकलेट्स, दे आर द गोल्ड स्टैंडर्ड. मतलब अगर वो आपने पढ़ी हैं कंटिन्यूसली, सो यू आर मोर और लेस इन टच विद एवरीथिंग दैट्स गोइंग ऑन एंड इज़ रेलेवेंट फॉर UPSC. So my 4 attempts have read every month's Vision IAS booklet basically, and because that's a very consolidated source, and also it lessens your effort because जो आप notes बनाते हैं it takes a lot of time. अगर आप newspaper पढ़ रहे हैं and you also have to write उसमें से, so it takes time obviously, it consumes 2 or 3 hours of your brain space and your day space, and then you feel tired, you don't know what to do. तो ये लोग ऑलरेडी इतनी मेहनत कर रहे हैं आपके लिए, समराइज़ कर रहे हैं सब कुछ. सो प्लीज़ ऑप्टिमाइज़ दैट. आपका जो टाइम है इन दिस एग्ज़ाम, प्लीज़ शॉर्टन इट. ये जो साइक्लिक विशियस साइकिल है, इससे बहुत जल्दी निकलने का सोचिए. जितना आपका एफर्ट कम हो सकता है, जितना स्मार्ट वर्क हो सकता है, वो कीजिए. बिकॉज फॉर एग्जाम्पल फॉर द प्रिलिम्स यू हैव लेट्स से PT 365 बुकलेट्स, राइट? So trust me, I was reading them to appear for prelims this year. So अगर आपने वो पढ़ा है अच्छे से, you can be chilled out about current affairs. कि उससे बाहर there is hardly anything that they will be asked. And कुछ अगर पूछा जाएगा तो किसी को नहीं आएगा, and it's okay, right? So optimize कीजिए. जो booklets अभी currently available हैं prelims के लिए for those of you who are writing, जैसे environment के लिए available है, science and tech के लिए available है. If you were to go back, and try to churn out all of that information from the last year, तो वो बहुत difficult रहेगा. तो वो already summarized है, that hard work has already been done for you, right? So even if you miss out in your preparation, sometimes you're not able to read something, आपके targets कभी complete नहीं हो रहे हैं, please don't think you'll have a bad exam. So it is very rewarding to those who are patient, who have belief. And the other thing I'll like to talk about is also belief, because apart from the brilliant people who clear in the first attempt, I failed at 2 mains initially in 13 and 14, and when I was writing my third mains, I had this mental block कि mains का जो result PDF आएगा उसमें roll number मैं imagine ही नहीं कर पाता था. मुझे ऐसा लगता था कि यार ये हो ही नहीं रहा है, ये हो नहीं पा रहा है, right? So you have that weight of history on your shoulders. You feel a little burdened कि I am writing good answers, I am doing everything right, but please understand they are not good answers. According to your level of preparation, according to at that particular time, आपके जो answers होते हैं, they are being matched with people who are already in services. Let's say they are IRS officers or IPS officers who are writing this exam with much less pressure than you. And there are first timers who are brilliant, and you're competing with all of these people, right? So please understand, अगर आपका clear नहीं हो रहा है तो थोड़ी गलती आप ही की है इनफैक्ट 90% गलती आप ही की है, क्योंकि द ओनली बॉटल नेक आई सी फॉर दिस एग्ज़ाम आफ्टर ऑल ऑफ दिस टाइम ऑफ प्रिपरेशन इज़ यू. अगर आप टाइम वेस्ट कर रहे हैं, अगर आप सीरियस नहीं हैं, then it will always be difficult. It will always keep getting more difficult as time progresses, because same चीज़ आपको पढ़नी होगी बार बार. And you just have to understand कि belief is important, like I was saying. And मतलब final list में नाम देखना, this time around I was hoping that I'll see my name in the final list. So please see yourself as that. Please understand that the very fact that you are sitting here, the very fact that you're preparing tells a lot about you. You are already a very special person. And whatever you have achieved in life, whatever you've done in life, please tell yourself, please back yourself for it. And when all of these great people that we look up to, like I said, my idol is Roger Federer, and why I'm focusing on simplicity or elegance or excellence is because of him. Because for anyone who's followed tennis or watched him, his game is very simple. You see it and you don't see anything special. His forehand speed is not very great, his serve is very ordinary, but the point is he is consistent. Point is he believes, in the big moments, in the points that matter, he delivers. He always delivers. He was called to Delhi in 2014, I think, for an IPTL event, and the organizers knew he would deliver, and he beat everyone there, and he delivered under all of that pressure. So please understand, whatever pressure you're facing, things are going to get greater once you are into the services. The stakeholders are going to grow manyfold. Right now it's your parents and your friends, but once you are there, everyone in the country, everyone in your district will be looking up to you, right? So you have to prepare yourself for that. You cannot afford to be lazy. You cannot afford to get up late and appear all in shambles. आपको बहुत energetic रहना है. आपको बहुत you have to be on your toes, right? Because for this career and 30 years of making, which आप लोग 30-35 years का career होगा आपका services में, each day you'll have to be on your toes. Each day you'll have to be your best. And just to motivate you a little further, all of us, top 20 ranks, we were called by Honorable Minister of State Jitendra Singh on the 2nd of June for a felicitation ceremony. And that is when the feeling started sinking in कि क्या हुआ है and where we are, right? So the place from where I was sitting, I could see the symbol of Government of India, Satyamev Jayate. On my left was a big portrait of Mahatma Gandhi, and on his right was a portrait of Vallabhbhai Patel. And we were sitting in the company of IS officers who had served for 30 or more years in the Government of India, and the top 20 ranks. We were there. And we were told exactly this thing, that now your job begins, and now the kind of responsibility that is coming to you is very great. And therefore, you cannot afford to be lax. And you're not the best. You are here because, yes, you have worked hard, but you're also been in the right place at the right time. So please understand कि time आता है. Everyone will have their time. Each one of you, and each one of you without exception, has this ability to clear this exam, and with flying colors. So please do not doubt that. Never doubt that. Please keep believing. Please think of what you can do for your country. And you're sitting here, you're the hope of so many people. And बस वो सोच के please keep working. 1 साल की मेहनत है. I mean, in my humble opinion, I think only 1 year of preparation is necessary to clear this exam. So for 1 year, if you can take care of yourself, you can back yourself, you can keep pushing yourself. When you think it's enough, study for 15 more minutes. And just do it, because that's your job. People asked me, I also conducted a talk yesterday, and people asked me, how did you cope up with all your failures? And last time, especially coming back from the interview, it's very heartbreaking. And so that's what I said, कि ठीक है, मैंने शोक मनाया 2 दिन 3 दिन. I was very depressed, like everyone would be, right? And it takes time to, and I had that window because prelims August में था last year. This time though I was thinking I'll skip this attempt if I don't make it. So, but after that, like I said, I picked up Lakshmikant because that was my job. So this is your job. Please, even if You have left your corporate job or government job to be here. You still have a job, and your job is greater than all of those people. आपका job है पढ़ना currently, right? So please back yourself. Please understand कि बस एक साल की बात है, and put your best efforts. Please reach out to people who have done well. Please understand जितनी भी आपकी queries हैं. And the prime reason I came here to connect with all of you, I knew कि prelims is approaching and all of you would be busy. But the prime reason I came out here is because I want you to know that you have a whole galaxy of toppers whom you can reach out to and connect with and understand whatever your small big queries may be, and whatever little knowledge they have, they can assist you with that. Because अगर आप filtered wisdom लेते हैं तो आपको खुद उतनी मेहनत नहीं करनी पड़ती to get where you have to be, and you fit the requirement of the exam, and that is the prime purpose, to fit the requirement of the exam, right? And apart from that, answer writing की बात श्वेता और अनुज करेंगे आपसे, and we'll also take questions at the end of the session, but right now also if you have any questions, you're free to ask. Yes.
So I just cleared 12th this year.
Okay.
Like 96%.
12th. Okay. Amazing.
So I'm super excited about UPSC. I want to start my coaching
Mhm.
this year. So like, I don't know, how should I plan for 3 years?
Mhm.
And how should I go with it? I mean, first you could explain, I know what you said.
No, so first of all, congratulations to you. You are an early starter and a overachiever. In my opinion, कि आप अभी से you are thinking about this and you are clear about this goal. मैं जब final year में पहुंचा था तब मुझे समझ आया था कि UPSC करना है. So that you have decided it अभी, it's brilliant. And 3 years of prep, I would say that once you're entering college, probably after you settle in, and you have to start from scratch. तो आप go to basic NCRTs. Try to develop a habit of reading the newspaper, because that will be a constant companion in your preparation. So start from the NCRTs, visit blogs, visit people who have written stuff. Please understand क्या कहना चाह रहे हैं, what is the crux of the whole thing. See the previous year papers. Don't push yourself too much. Probably for the first year, you can just research, and then from your second year you can start your preparation, and 2 years will be more than enough time for you. When you're passing out, you can take that attempt, right? And this is very brilliant, because yesterday also there was a person from IIT Delhi. He was in his second year and he also wanted to know कि preparation कब start करनी है. So it's brilliant कि अब people have this clarity about what they want to do, and all the best to you. Okay. Yes.
So if you next stage is the time when we start talking ourselves,
Mhm.
will you study or not? When we are looking at it.
So, no matter if you doubt yourself or not, you have studied, right? So, that. It's a fact. And yeah, confusion is there, and, errors are there. So, just to give you an example, last year prelims में एक question था कि सूरत split क्यों हुआ था. I think it was, a sitter. And मेरे जो 9 questions गलत हुए थे, उनमें से एक वो भी था. So, because I overthought that question, I I just thought कि इतना आसान question नहीं पूछ सकते. So वही है, the biases that you have in your head कि आसान question नहीं आ सकता UPSC में, repeat नहीं हो सकता, मेरी knowledge इतनी sufficient नहीं है कि यार इतने अच्छे से मुझे आता हो ये. Please, I mean everyone suffers from that, and बहुत human errors, बहुत छोटी छोटी mistakes होती हैं, सबसे होती हैं, but that's what you have to understand. This is competition, everyone is under pressure, तो सबसे वो mistakes होंगी. Don't be too hard on yourself. Just do your best and wait for your time. It will come to you. आपने जो भी प्रिपरेशन की है इन योर लास्ट 10 days लाइक यू आर आस्किंग, आप जस्ट गो बैक टू इट, यू विल फील कंफर्टेबल. वही चीज़ें रिवाइज कीजिए जो आपने पढ़ी हुई हैं, ठीक है, एंड प्रॉबेबली रिवाइज द टेस्ट्स दैट यू हैव टेकन, एंड टेक केयर ऑफ़ योर हेल्थ. गो इन विद अ फ्रेश माइंड, बिकॉज कभी कभी प्रीलिम्स में ऐसे भी क्वेश्चन होते हैं जो आपने 8th क्लास में पढ़े होंगे, राइट? It's not all about this 1 year. It's about what you have done throughout your life. Like I remember there was a question in 14 prelims about the Cassini-Huygens aircraft, the spacecraft, कि वो किस planet पे गया है. And I had read it in some book in my 8th standard, like I was mentioning. उसका मैंने कोई immediate preparation नहीं किया था, right? And lot of questions can be solved by common sense. Like I remember Ananya Das ma'am mentioning about that bird question that was in the prelims, कि right, all of you would be aware. So ऐसा नहीं है कि अगर आपने कुछ कवर नहीं किया है तो अच्छा नहीं होगा. डोंट थिंक लाइक दैट. ओके, जस्ट बी फोकस्ड, स्टे काम, ट्रस्ट योर सेल्फ, एंड यू आर गोइंग टू बी फाइन एंड डू ग्रेट. Okay, yes, sorry.
Sir, this is regarding newspaper reading.
Mm-hmm.
Sir, the thing is that first you sift out the information.
Mm.
Whatever is relevant, you sift out the information. And so is it necessary to do the analysis then and there because analysis takes time, right?
Yes, you are right, and I think that newspaper reading is one of the, it's an art which you develop over time. So you learn to segregate कि कौन सी चीज़ें important हैं, prelims के लिए क्या important है, mains के लिए क्या important है. You learn to segregate that, and that will come with time. But I would suggest that if you are starting newspaper reading, so don't overburden yourself. Start reading the editorials. वो वहाँ पे 5 articles होते हैं गिन के, ठीक है. And if you follow that for a couple of months, everything that is important will sooner or later appear in the editorial, right? So just follow that to optimize your time and not put too much pressure on yourself. Probably refer to the monthly supplements which are available in the market, right? And just try to, as far as the analysis goes, you know, that comes with time. Just I have been giving this example, and it's a very simple example, and all of you will connect with that. Ki if you're asked about Skill India, right? So I also gave this example yesterday. I'm repeating it, but you know, everyone knows about demographic dividend and that the government is trying to skill people. But when you talk about it and you have read enough, you would automatically interlink things. You can say that the output of Skill India can be an input for Make in India. It can be aided by Digital India, right? The FDI liberalization and investments which are coming can aid it. So these interconnections will happen over time, and you know, you need to sort of dwell on things. You need to understand कि थोड़ा सा thinking required है. The rote learning is fine, the schemes, but एक objective होता है government का, एक aim होता है which they are trying to achieve, right? And there is a whole ecosystem of schemes and endeavors or bills or bodies that are striving towards the same objective, right? But you will please learn to connect that eventually, and you will once you have enough knowledge base. But newspaper reading, just stick to the editorial initially, and later on you can expand your horizons onto that. Yes.
Regarding planning,
Mm.
because for last year I have read many books, but now if we have failed in planning, and I have read books, but reading the crux and revising it again and again periodically.
Have you taken an attempt, or you?
No, sir.
This year will be your first attempt. Okay.
That is where I have failed, and I want to ask you how you plan, or how I should plan either for like next year.
Mm-hmm. So, you know, when you're talking about the books that you've already read the books, and you know, you don't feel confident about them, so the only solution is to read them again, right? And I know it's not possible probably in the next 10 days. So probably if you have made any sort of notes or any topics that you're entirely comfortable with, सिर्फ वही पढ़िए in the next 10 days to not mess up everything in your head. जो चीज़ें आपको अच्छी आती हैं, just try to work with that. And going forward, please just plan your revisions. आप बहुत simple plan कर सकते हैं. 2 दिन तक मैं पॉलिटी पढ़ूँगा, ठीक है. एंड पॉलिटी में क्या पढ़ूँगा? लक्ष्मीकांत पढ़ूँगा, प्रॉब्ली क्लास नोट्स पढ़ूँगा. आई लुक एट द क्वेश्चंस. 2 दिन तक मैं ये करूँगा. नेक्स्ट 2 days आई रीड जोग्राफी. सो इट्स नॉट वेरी कॉम्प्लेक्स, राइट? बट इट्स सिंपल. इट्स वेरी सिंपल, बट इट्स नॉट ईजी. सो आपको, यू कैन मेक अ वेरी नॉर्मल प्लान, बट इफ़ आई टेल यू टू डू द सेम थिंग every day at 5 p.m., you will fail at doing it. Because please understand, and if you have done it, half the battle is won. Because 90% of the people are not able to do it. बहुत सारे प्लान्स अवेलेबल हैं ऑनलाइन. मतलब प्रीलिम्स के लिए 60 day प्लान होता है, 30 day प्लान होता है. तो बहुत सिंपल प्लान है, कुछ नहीं है. पहले दिन ये NCERTs के ये चैप्टर्स हैं, उनके तो चैप्टर्स भी सेग्रीगेटेड होते हैं, आई थिंक, राइट? सो इफ़ दैट हेल्प्स यू कैन गो टू देयर प्लान्स. वो भी आपके लिए बना के रखा हुआ है.
So not exactly asking to these 10 days.
Yeah, so I'm also talking long term, because going forward, अभी आप 10 days में you focus on revising what you have, and moving forward, it's very simple. It's not easy. So just push yourself. When you feel कि 2 दिन में complete करना है तो करना है, because वही 2 दिन है आपके पास, right? So yes.
Sir, I have three things
Being from a student of pol science background, I am a bit clear-cutted towards geography. And if you see the question geography this year, AIR mass was a question in 2013 archipelago. So all those questions were somewhere you cannot predict and not from the basic NCERT or the GCSE on level. So how do you prepare for that? And second thing, so how do you plan yourself one day before prelims or one day before mains? Tomorrow I'm going to write this. And third,
Okay.
on a lighter note, how you have attempted this year that McBride Commission wala question, that allelopathy wala question? Could you
Okay, that's a string of questions, so just remind me if I forget. So I think your first question was about geography. So I am not the best person to answer that because geography is also my nemesis. I also don't like geography that much. And because of that, my GS1 scores in my first two attempts were terrible. I scored 42 marks in GS1 in my first attempt because I just didn't have a grip on geography, right? But that came with time, with the same sources that you're mentioning, and reading a few answers of test series, basically. So that was my source for understanding geography, because physical geography में you have to understand कि things are limited. Climatology है, oceanography है, मतलब there are set topics which you have to read. So probably just read questions. अगर आपने ocean currents prepare कर लिए तो उस पर questions आएगा तो by and large you can manage. So and GS1 में ही आएगा probably, and then the questions which are asked in mains, they are a little more on the governance side. They are a little more, not exactly geography. Yes, you're right about the air mass question, but this year there were questions on flood management, urban flood management पे I think 2-3 बार सवाल आ गए थे. GS1 में भी था. So we had to write the same thing. So that was something. But my point is, sources यही हैं. There is no other special source. And just try to probably do a few more questions from the mains perspective, a few more test series that you can get hold of, whether Vision IS or any other which you're following, and just practice those questions. That will work for you. Your second question was?
1 day before prelims.
1 day before. I don't study 1 day before. So I am the sort of person who likes to converge things like I talked about in my essay. So I don't diverge. A lot of people have this habit कि last day एकदम panic हो जाते हैं और सब कुछ खोल के पढ़ने लगते हैं. But I don't have that habit. On the last day, I just relax. I put myself in that state of mind to attempt mains or prelims, and staying calm is one of the prime things. It paid me off in the interview also, because last year I didn't score very well in the interview because I got very nervous. But this year I made it a point कि कुछ भी पूछें, जितना भी मना करना पड़े, I'll stay calm. And I didn't score too much, but I scored 168. That was enough to get me through. So that is, and the third thing, McBride Commission में मैंने एक भी word नहीं लिखा था because I had no idea about that question, and I knew that a lot of people will not have an idea. The best I could do is probably write about UNESCO. 3 लाइनें शायद मैं लिख सकता था. But this just goes on to show you that I'm very ordinary, right? I'm just the same as you. It doesn't matter if you're not able to attempt a question or you don't know something in mains, because आपका जो output आएगा वो बहुत वेरिएबल से आता है. इट्स नॉट वन सिंगल थिंग. इफ़ यू डोंट आंसर वन क्वेश्चन इन द इंटरव्यू, ऐसा नहीं है कि आपके मार्क्स कम आएंगे, राइट? बिकॉज इफ़ यू मैनेज योर सेल्फ वेल, इट्स फाइन. इट्स अ वेरी मैक्रो व्यू ऑफ थिंग्स. UPSC इज़ अ वेरी मैक्रो व्यू ऑफ थिंग्स. निटी ग्रिटीज़ में कोई इंटरेस्टेड नहीं है. सो योर ओवरऑल पर्सनैलिटी, योर ओवरऑल calmness, that will help you in every stage. So please maintain that. Okay, anything else? Yes. See, that's completely up to you. A lot of people have different styles. Yeah. Yeah.
I do is I cut the articles from the newspaper and paste it in a
Hmm.
kind of
Scrapbook.
Yeah, and I paste it and highlight some words which are important in that.
Right.
And right now I'm not doing it.
Mhm.
Till the time when I'll be appearing for the film, it will like
No, so it's okay, and like I said, everyone has their own way of doing things. So if you if you can manage the newspaper clippings, that's good. If you want to make notes from Vision IS current affairs, that's good. But if you can underline Usime and go back to it like I did, I'm a lazy person, so even that works. कोई protocol नहीं है. So yes. Yes, newspaper is indispensable. It is indispensable. Even if you are reading monthly supplements, please read the newspaper, because otherwise otherwise at one stage or the other you're going to feel deficient, because interview में जब आपसे पूछा जाएगा मेंस में, so that's the prime difference between the mains and the interview, कि मेंस में आप कुछ भी लिख सकते हैं, सब कुछ इंटरकनेक्ट कर सकते हैं, nothing comes back to you, but इंटरव्यू में अगर आपने एक लाइन एक्स्ट्रा बोल दी तो the person is sitting right in front and he can क्रॉस क्वेश्चन यू, राइट, एंड एनालिटिकल क्वेश्चंस पूछे जाते हैं इंटरव्यू में. सो अनलेस यू रीड द न्यूज़पेपर, अनलेस यू रीड दोज ओपिनियंस, येस विजनाइज बुकलेट्स एंड अदर सप्लीमेंट्स विल हैव, मतलब बिल के बारे में लिखा होगा, बट द एनालिसिस ऑफ द बिल, यू नो द ओपिनियन ऑन द बिल विल बी, यू विल फाइंड इन द न्यूज़पेपर. यस, अगेन लाइक इट डिपेंड्स ऑन यू, इफ़ यू कैन रिकलेक्ट, इफ़ यू हैव दैट ब्रिलियंट माइंड कि आप एक बार पढ़ के आपको चीज़ें याद रह जाती हैं, इट्स वेरी गुड दैट, देन यू कैन यू नो स्किप दैट, ऑप्टिमाइज, पुट योर टाइम इन प्लेसेस जहाँ पे आप वीक हैं, एंड इट डिपेंड्स ऑन यू. बट आई स्ट्रांगली सजेस्ट make notes from the newspaper. The monthly supplements, I personally did not make any notes. I just went back to them, highlighted stuff in them, and I went back to them. Okay. Last two questions. Yes.
Quality optional बता दें.
Yes, you go ahead. Sorry. Strategy post prelims is answer writing, because you know that is the only thing that you'll be judged on. No matter आपने कितनी किताबें पढ़ी हैं, आपको अपने आंसर्स से जज किया जाएगा. So please you know probably have a time bound manner in which you are attempting those 20 questions, whether it be through a test series or a personal, you can sit at home and do it also. Now there are online test series available even with Vision IS, which you can go to, and that will help you, because ultimately answers लिखने हैं. Yes.
Quality optional.
One second. Yes.
Quality optional के बारे में पूछना.
Sorry.
Quality optional.
Political science optional के बारे में. Okay. So again, I'm not the best person to talk. I got 302 marks, but there are people who have scored 330 also this time. I had very limited time, so I had joined Shubhra Ranjan ma'am for her classroom program in July 2016, and I tried to be regular. Sometimes I was not able to be that. Sometimes I missed classes. Why I'm saying all this is because I'm very ordinary, right? So, but I made it a point to read her notes again and again. And because I had a little time, तो books पढ़ने का time नहीं था, I still referred Andrew Haywood for global politics. A few of the chapters I had read from there, and that was very helpful. If you can read that book, that will help you in paper 2. And apart from that, it was just the notes. So going forward, I might have referred a few more books. Yes, someone from here. One second, sorry. No, so in fact in the first 2 attempts I didn't do any answer writing, and that was you know the major flaw, that why I didn't clear it. I wrote the test series in Vision in 2015, and that helped me a lot. So answer writing actually I was a little more confident कि मैं लिख सकता हूँ, तो मैंने नहीं लिखा. But please लिखिए, all of you should practice no matter how good you are, and that will help you. Yes. Last question. Yes. So like I said, you can plan weekly, monthly revisions. For example, if you read something today, make it a point to read it 7 days later, because otherwise it will slip out of your memory. And whatever you have read 7 days later, go back to it 1 month later also. And so in my case, typically, I read one thing 3 times before going and writing, or because otherwise it does not come into my personal recallable memory. I can read something, I can understand. UPSC syllabus is not very difficult to understand. Social issues हैं, women empowerment है, it's very simple to understand, right? But to retain it and to recollect it when it is needed, you have to revise. So typically I did 3 revisions, 1 right before the exam and 2 revisions before. If I read something new, I would read it again, and I'll read it again before the exam. So plan it like that. And thank you all of you. We have 2 other toppers, brilliant minds waiting for you. And any more questions we'll take at the end. And now I'll just pass on to Anuj. And thank you all for a patient hearing and being here in today morning. I'm privileged. Thank you so much.
Hello, am I audible? Am I looking funny? Okay, hello everyone. My name is Anuj Malik and I've secured rank 16 this year, and this was my first attempt, and I graduated in 2015. I am from engineering background. I did my engineering in electronics and communication engineering. I began my preparation in July 2014 when I was in the last year of my college. That was the time for 1 year I took coaching for GS and optional. My optional is psychology. Very unconventional, people don't take it, people don't get marks in it, but still I got 306 marks, and I studied psychology only for 4 months. Only for 4 months. That is from 2015 January till 2015 May. That is, in between I took a break of 1 month. I prepared psychology for 4 months. And in GS, all the paper combined, I scored 473 marks. This is the highest this year. I don't know if anybody has got more than that. So just to cut short it and to come on at the right point, I would be talking about GS3 and GS4, paper GS3 and GS4, which are supposed to be the most trickiest, most difficult, vast syllabus. I will talk about that. First of all, I'll begin with paper 3, GS paper 3. The one thing which is the basic underlining theme to get good marks in GS is to study the syllabus first. All of you, just take a printout of the syllabus and see what all topics are mentioned in the syllabus. Understand each and every word of the syllabus, make note of that, and gather information about it. For example, the GS3 paper consists of broadly economics, science and technology, and security, the broad 3 underlining themes of GS3. For economics, what you can do is, just for having a base of economics, because I am not from an economics background, I was very scared of economics. I don't know what to do, what is repo rate, what is bank rate, I knew nothing. I read the NCERT first, 11th, 12th NCERT. If you are more fearful, start from the 9th class NCERT. From 9th class, economics is introduced. So start from 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, read NCERTs first. You will get what is repo rate, what is monetary policy, everything is well explained in that. If you still do not get an idea of what is happening in the books, just Google the terms. There's an Investopedia economic dictionary available online. Just Google the word, you'll get the meaning. That is sufficient. Just understand what is this, what is the present repo rate, bank rate, reverse repo rate of the government. After reading the NCERTs, the basic NCERTs of 9th to 12th, you buy notes from market or from the coaching institute, whichever you have joined, read that. Read that multiple times. I read my notes, I think so 7 to 8 times. Maybe I had the time to read that because my preparation is extended for 2 years. Read your notes multiple times. At least 3 times you can read them. Manage your time accordingly and read them 3 to 4 times. After you are finished with this NCERT and notes, move towards the economic survey, which is published every year. You will understand what is happening in our economy. Everything is given in the economic survey. The questions in the mains examination will be picked up from there, from the economic survey. You don't make this mistake of directly jumping to the economic survey, you will not understand a word of it. Begin, give yourself a strong foundation and then go to the economic survey and read about it. Once you have read economic survey, make notes out of it. Market में you will get बहुत सारे notes कि इस coaching institute ने economic survey का notes निकाला है, दूसरे ने निकाला, लेकिन आप please खुद से अपने notes बनाइए हर एक chapter के ऊपर. आप whatever you will write, that will be in your own handwriting. It will have your touch into that. And in the examination आपको खुद ही लिखना है. तो coaching institute से if you will read, आप शायद कनेक्ट ना कर पाएँ क्योंकि कोचिंग इंस्टीट्यूट ने किस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में वो लिखा है वो कॉन्टेक्स्ट मिस हो जाएगा अगर आप खुद से नहीं बना के लिखेंगे. तो जस्ट मेक नोट्स फॉर योर सेल्फ एंड देन रिवाइज देम. वंस यू आर डन विद दिस, योर इकोनॉमिक्स पार्ट इज फिनिश्ड. You will get good marks in prelims and for mains, that's for sure. If you have done this honestly and diligently on a regular basis. That is all I did for economics. I had no background of economics. I kept my strategy as simple as that. I have told you the secret, what I did, and it will surely help you. Then the next most trickiest part of GS3 is science and technology, which people fear a lot. That what they will ask, they ask allelopathy, they ask nanoscience mission. What they will ask, they can ask about any, last year they asked about the satellites which India launched. So what to do in these cases when you don't know the technicalities of the topic asked. For that you need to read about the current affairs, because everything that will be asked in science and technology will be from directly or indirectly related to the current affairs. So that's where Vision IS notes come into place. I was not very regular in reading newspaper because I was revising 7-8 times the notes. So I did not get very large amount of time to read the newspaper, but in the morning when you get up, or in the afternoon, or at night, give 40 to 45 minutes to the newspaper. Only one newspaper will be sufficient, whichever you like, the Hindu or the Indian Express, read it. Just read it. Making notes or not making notes is your choice, how you are comfortable with it. Initially in 2014 when I was in college, I had the time, I made notes, but then I realized that it is not working out for me, because these notes are getting piled up and I'm not getting the time to revise. If you make notes and you're not able to revise them, then they are waste. Then there's no use of them. There will be bundle of notes in your room and they will be not of any use to you. So make notes only when you are sure that I will revise them. If you have made notes for 1 week from the newspaper, give Sunday as your revision day, that I will revise these notes on Sunday. That is what I used to do. Whatever I used to read in a week from Monday to Saturday, I used to revise it on Sunday. आपकी रिविजन जल्दी खत्म हो जाएगी. It will not take the whole day और आप बाकी टाइम अपना you relax, क्योंकि you have studied 6 days, बहुत अपना deeply पढ़ चुके हैं. Just pamper yourself and relax. So make notes only when you can revise them. Else, there is this Vision IS current affair monthly supplements or PT 365 or PT mains that is available. That is also helps in revision. You can revise them quickly and it will serve the purpose. You can directly write that in examination and you'll get good marks. So science and technology, if you want, that is optional. I am from science background, so I did not do it. But if somebody is not from science background, what you can do is read 6th to 10th class NCRTs. Only NCRTs, nothing else, and there is no need to revise what is assimilation, what is the digestive system, what all organs are present. You can skip the biology part. Just read it. What is a microorganism? A simple basic understanding, you will read it, and this allelopathy term is mentioned in one of the NCRTs. So you will be shocked. And somebody asked the question on air mass, that from where you will get the air mass. If I can recall the 11th class NCRT of geography, physical geography, this question is mentioned there. To keep it simple, all the questions in the paper, I did not read anything other than NCRTs or the standard books, that is Lakshmikant or Spectrum for Modern India. Nothing was out of that. But people don't revise the NCRTs. They think UPSC का exam है तो NCRT से तो नहीं पूछेंगे, लेकिन वो NCRT से ही पूछेंगे. Okay, so revise them multiple times. I did it first attempt क्योंकि मेरे पास ज़्यादा guidance नहीं थी. I stay in Delhi. I was not staying in a PG. मेरे कोई friend UPSC के लिए prepare नहीं कर रहा था. मेरी family में किसी ने आज तक UPSC के लिए prepare नहीं किया. I was the first one. कोई guide करने के लिए भी नहीं था. Coaching में भी मेरे इतने ज़्यादा friends नहीं बन पाए, और जो बने वो मुझसे भी बेकार थे पढ़ाई में, तो कोई किसी चीज़ ने help नहीं किया. The only thing that helped me was these NCRTs, और मैंने इन्हें बहुत बार ही revise किया. I revised them multiple times. That is why I could score well in the GS papers. For science, read the 6th to 10th NCRTs. If something is like very technical or scientific, skip that. कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है आपको याद करने की, just skip that. After that, once you are done with it, आपका base बन चुका है. You will know what is an atom or a molecule if that is mentioned in the monthly magazine of Vision IS. Then read the magazine regularly for entire 1 year. Because that is the 1 year is the time frame from which the questions will be asked in the prelim examination or the mains examination. That is 1 year is the time. For example, if you are appearing in 2017 this year, prelims, so your 1 year food would be from June 2016 till June 2017. That is the period that you have to focus upon. अगर आपने 4 साल पहले से न्यूज़पेपर के नोट्स बना रखे हैं तो आई डोंट थिंक सो वो इतना पुराने पूछेंगे वहाँ पर. तो दैट इज़ द 1 ईयर, बिकॉज मेरी स्ट्रैटेजी बहुत ही शॉर्ट, क्विक और सिंपल रही है, क्योंकि मैं कोई आई हैड नो एक्सपीरियंस अबाउट इट. तो यू नो मैं एक लेजी इंसान हूँ, तो मैंने सोचा कि सबसे शॉर्टेस्ट वे इज़ व्हाट इज़ दिस, कि 1 साल के लिए आई विल जस्ट रीड 1 ईयर, आई विल स्टिक टू दैट. उसमें से ठीक आया तो ठीक है, लिख देंगे, नहीं आया तो छोड़ देंगे. So just stick to 1 year framework and read the magazines regularly. Please don't pile them up. Please don't, कि कल पढ़ लेंगे या परसों पढ़ लेंगे. Please don't do that. If there's a monthly supplement, read it once the month is once the month has ended. And on a regular basis, read the newspaper to have a general idea that what is happening in the world around you. Because once you'll go for interview, there can be very simple questions that could be asked to you, which are not covered in the Vision IS magazine. For example, where Modi ji took tours, that won't be mentioned into the monthly magazine, but they can ask you in the interview. So read newspaper so that you can understand the magazine. If you'll not read the newspaper, magazine will be, a source of data for you. You will not be able to know, okay, when it happened, what was the context behind it. Although they gave the, starting introduction, why news. But if you have seen that article in the newspaper, you will quickly recapitulate, yes, I have read that thing in the newspaper, and something our Prime Minister or our President spoke about it. You will have a context or a background in your mind. So read newspaper and then link it with the current affairs magazine. If you think that I have to develop an opinion about the newspaper or something like that, read the newspaper and talk to your friends about that, or your parents, or your siblings, whoever you are comfortable with. Talk to the person you are comfortable with on the given topic that is covered in the newspaper to get an opinion about it. If there's nobody available, talk to yourself. At the night when you are done with your studies, just lay back and think what you would have done in that situation. For example, if Transparency International publishes the Corruption Perception Index for our country, the score that our country has scored, is at a very low place. You have read that in newspaper. Just think back and just think, why is corruption being present so prevalent in our country? Just think about it once, and that is how you can write a good answer in the mains examination. If you'll not think, if you will do a mechanical way of approaching the things, you will not be able to write an examination, because there you have to think on the spot. In interview, you have to think on the spot. In prelims, you have to think on the spot and then decide your answer. So think, inculcate a habit of thinking in yourself. Think about the things you read in the newspaper. That will surely help you. So science and technology will be covered through NCRTs and the monthly supplements. If you want to go ahead with any institute, with the material of any coaching institute, that is completely your choice. But this is the basic broad line that you should do. If you are a serious aspirant, this thing you should do at least. And the next part that comes in the GS3 examination is the security part, both external and internal security issues. What I did for this part was, I took the map of India. You all must be having an atlas or the map of India in your room. Just take that map out and see what all borders do we share, or with what all countries we share our border. And with each country, just for example, with Pakistan, with Pakistan, we have this international borders and the LOC. Just write India-Pakistan border, underline it, and then write the length of kilometers of the border we share. Then write international, there's 2 types of border in that, international border and the LOC. Then write which security force covers that border. For example, the BSF and the Indian Army are supposed to take care of the India-Pakistan border. Write that. List down the issues that we have with that border. For example, with Pakistan, we have terrorism issue, infiltration issue, ceasefire violation issues, drug trafficking. These are the things that need to be covered over there. You can refer any material. For that, I Googled and I referred Vision IS material available on internal security. Then there's this, with this, there is this golden crescent, diamond crescent, all these terms are related with that. See, with Pakistan, there is Afghanistan also associated with. Write that down on one page, just maximum 100 or 200 words, write about each and every border. Your external security part will be covered. Similarly for the coastal areas. Then go to the website of Home Ministry and see what all schemes are present for internal security or external security. For Naxalite hit areas, we have specific schemes. For example, Pradhan Mantri Khanij Kshetra Vikas Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Gramin Sadak Yojana. For coastal areas, we have Coastal Security Scheme. All these is present. You just summarize it on a paper. For every word of the syllabus, summarize it on a paper, Google it, or go to the website of the concerned ministry, or refer to the material, but gather a one-page write-up on every topic of the syllabus. That is how you can revise very quickly when your mains examination is approaching. Because you must be reading current affairs, you must be reading n number of books, then how do you put all that together? This is how you put all that together. You have a write-up on every topic of the syllabus on one page, hardly 50 or 100 pages, that is the number of topics mentioned in the syllabus. Before the mains, revise that. Because this year, the pattern suddenly changed in the mains examination. It was more of a static type of a paper and not a dynamic one. We had very absurd questions to face with. So if you were not prepared about any worst situation, you would not be able to answer well in the examination. So make a basic structure for the static part and do side by side the dynamic part, that is the current affairs part, and link them together. You have made your notes, you have read the magazines, now link them together. If, for example, you read the internal security section of the Vision IS magazine, there will be various schemes covered. There will be a ground zero summit for cyber security or any other summit. So you know what is cyber security, what is cyberspace, you have written that in your notes, you can link that together. And when you'll go for examination, you will have all your data at one place. And you can quickly flip through the pages and revise one day before the mains examination. That is what I do. If you feel that there is too much time pressure and we cannot revise one day before the examination, revise it before the mains examinations are approaching, and that will be done. If you are making handwritten notes, revision will not take more than 2 to 3 hours for a single paper, if you are doing that on a regular basis. So in this manner, your GS3 paper will be sorted. You will not have to go to any other market to buy any other high level information material or very scientific data about anything. Keep your preparation very, very simple. Very simple. The person who's going to check your paper, he has very limited time. He cannot exhaust himself or herself, to just make emphasis on each and every topic or word that you have written in your answer. He will be very, he must be having a time pressure to check your answer sheets. So you should present your answer in a way that it becomes effortless for the checker to check your answer. Make diagrams in your answer, underline the important themes that you have written, mention about various schemes that are related to the question. And to answer a question very well, you need to understand the question which is being asked in the paper. To understand the question, read it 2 times before answering it. And specifically underline the keywords in the question which are you think you should give an emphasis upon. Make a note of the words which are attached to the question. For example, is it discuss? Is it elaborate? Is it examine? Or is it critically examine? Or is it analyze? All these words have a different meaning. They are not the same. If they would have been same, we would have a single word for all of these things. If it is critically analysis, then you have to write both the positive and negatives. For example, if only a word discuss is mentioned, you have to discuss the given statement which is stated in the question. You may or may not mention the positive or negative aspects about that question. You are getting my point, what I am trying to say. This is how focus on the question, underline the key points, then write a very simple answer. Very simple answer. What the government is doing, try to mention that in the question, and always conclude your answer. Always. Whether it is given or not given, always conclude your answer. Only 1 or 2 lines at the end of your answer can fetch you half or 1 marks more. And that is how you can score very well in your GS examination. And then how do you conclude your answer? Either you give a suggestion. For example, if there is any question that, like in this year's paper, there was a question on informal sector. In the end, right, as the present government is talking about Skill India, this mission can add to the formalization of our economy, full stop. That is how you conclude your answer. You have given a suggestion. You have concluded your answer, you have presented your answer very well. So importance in GS examination is of the structure, underlining, making diagrams, presentation that matters the most. If your answer is not presentable, the examiner may not be very attracted towards your answer. He can give you very low marks despite of the fact that you wrote a very good answer. If your answer is not structured, you may not get good marks. Even though you had studied for 2 years, 3 years, you have studied 14 hours a day, but if your answer is not looking good, it is not structured, it is not in the points, then you can, you can only be responsible for that you score low marks in your examination despite all the hard work that you have done. This is all about GS3 paper. With this, GS3 will be sorted out. If anybody has question on GS3 papers, you can ask me right here only. No issues. It was very simple, I think so. Everybody understood what I tried to say. For GS4, that is the ethics paper. For that also, read the syllabus first. And the GS4 paper is broad. GS4 paper has 3 basic underlining themes in the syllabus. One is from the psychology part of the syllabus, that is attitude, values, morals, attitude, behavior link, how attitude influence your behavior. That is the psychological part of the syllabus. And then there is this philosophical part of the syllabus, where are there moral thinkers, global thinkers are present, and you have to, read a basic tenets of what actually their philosophy is all about. There are some, for example, Kautilya, you have to study a basic themes about what Kautilya actually said, because it's an important part of a paper. You also study that for art and culture also. So you can link both of them over here for the GS4 paper. And then there is this third part in the ethics paper is public administration. The basic administrative part is also present, which talks about governance, what are the leadership values that a civil servant should hold, what are the foundational values of a civil servant. All this is mentioned in the syllabus. So you segregate the GS4 paper into 3 parts, one psychology, one philosophy, and one public administration, the basic administration. And for every word that is mentioned in the syllabus, just Google the definition about it, that what is attitude, what is behavior, what is leadership, what is compassion, what is tolerance. All these words are mentioned in the syllabus. Just Google them and understand or memorize a very simple definition of all these words. Once you are done with that, your GS4 paper is over. Static syllabus is over, and only the application of it will come in the examination. For example, I wrote the test series in 2016 for the mains examination. I am reading out a question of the mock paper. The question says, celebrities are paid huge amount by companies for endorsing products that at times run out to be harmful for the customers. Examine the ethical dimensions involved in such instances. So the basic 2 keywords in this question is celebrities, endorsement, and the ethical dimensions associated with it. As a layman, if you will think if celebrities are endorsing a product, what are the dimensions associated with that? Quality of the product, manufacturing of the product, this company which is endorsing the product, what all the process of manufacturing that product is, all that is going into that product. And as a celebrity, what if you are a celebrity? Place yourself as a celebrity. If someone approaches you to endorse a product, what thing will you keep in your mind? If I am rightly informed about the product which I am going to endorse, what are the positive or the negative effects of that product? Which is the target age group this product is aiming at? These are the things that you'll keep in your mind, and that is all you have to write in the paper. Because as you can start this, for example, I started my answer, celebrities enjoy high reference power in the society, therefore their opinion towards a product matters in the society. That was my introduction. That is all you have to write. Because celebrities enjoy a slight degree of reference power. For example, reference power is the power of likability, that how people like you. They have that power with them. So with great power comes great responsibility. You can write that in your answer, and that will make your answer stand out. And then you can talk about the ethical dimensions, which I spoke about: the quality of the product, the target age group, the harmful effects, the positive effects. And over here, you can also mention about CSR. You must have read that in economics. You can refer corporate sector responsibility over here. Just mentioning this term in your answer will fetch you half or one more marks in the examination. That is how you can add value to your answer. Just as a layman, don't think I'm a UPSC aspirant, I'm going to be an IAS officer, so I have to write very strong technical answer to get good marks. No. You are a normal person, you are a normal student, like I was a normal student. I am a normal person right now. So just read the question. Things are happening around you in your environment. Just read the question and think what you will do in this situation. I know all of us have a sound mind, and we make choices every day in our lives. To buy a pen or to buy new clothes, we make choices every day in our life. So while writing the answer, I am 100% sure all of you can make an ethical choice, because all of us know what is wrong and what is right. And that is how you approach a case study. For example, for a case study, if it is visible, I underlined the important thing, that is Dalit, monetary benefits and ethical issues. These are the only things that I have underlined in the question. So likewise, when you read a case study, underline the most important things that are available in the question. Underline them. And then how you should write an ethical case study is, if you prepare your syllabus well, you will know the foundational values of a civil servant are mentioned in the syllabus. Write them on the margin of the question paper and think what all values will be applied in this case study. So before beginning your answering your case study, write the foundational values of civil services which are involved in this case, list them down, and then write the possible course of action that is available, write 3-4 points down, and then select the most appropriate which you think you should do. So while answering in this manner, you have given the examiner the values involved in the case study, what are the possible alternatives that are available, and why you are choosing one of them, and what do you feel, what is your personal opinion about that alternative. State that honestly, because nobody is judging you when they are checking your answer sheets. It is your perspective. If you are able to justify the alternative you are taking, nobody will give you less marks. It's the reason that you give behind your answer. If I'm telling you that your preparation is simple, I'm giving you the facts behind it. That is how you'll get convinced about it. If I'll only say your preparation should be simple and I do not speak about it any further, you will say maybe I'm lying about it. Maybe I'm keeping a secret about it. Similarly, whatever alternative you take in a case study, justify it. Your justification should be strong enough to convince yourself and the person who's checking your paper. And that is how you will get very good marks in all the 4 GS papers, GS 1, 2, 3 or 4. Whatever you write should have conviction behind it. You should be convinced. If you only think I have not written a good answer, it was a substandard answer, the examiners will feel the same about you. If you'll write your answer confidently, yes, this is the best answer I could write in a limited amount of time under so much pressure, examiner while checking your answer will also feel the same about you. If you'll feel I have given 5 attempts, 1 attempt, 2 attempts, 3 attempts, I am not getting good marks, as Anand sir mentioned, you should be confident about your answer. It does not matter if it is your first attempt, second attempt, third attempt, fourth attempt, it does not matter. Selection takes only 1 attempt. And whenever you give prelims, mains, or you are going for the interview, always keep in mind that doing good deeds, staying positive will always give positive result to you. While writing your answer, you should say positive about your answers and write them with conviction. If you will feel confident about your answers, the examiner will surely feel confident about that. And the basic thing while answering a question should be the structure of the answer. I am emphasizing on it very much because structure does matters. Whether it's essay, optional, GS paper, structure your answers. Whether it is interview, there also structure your answer. Give answers in key points. Like Anand sir mentioned, if you will say a lot of things, it can backfire. You will be counter questioned on that. You know, why when you are give an answer in an interview, it's like a press statement. You can't take it back. And they will ask cross questions on that. They will judge you for that. So be very calculated in what you speak, whether it's mains or interview. If you speak too much or speak too less, or you write too much or you write too less, for one question you are filling all the pages, and for the next question you have just written 2 words. It doesn't give a good impression. If you know a question very well, then also write only what is required in the question. And if you do not know the question, try to write the basic things that you have studied about that question. For example, somebody asked that what was the commission, McBride commission, and there was associated question with UNESCO. If you have prepared honestly, you must be knowing something about UNESCO. You can write about that. Half your page will be covered, and they will give you 1 or 2 marks. If you'll keep your answer blank, it will not give a good impression. So try to answer each and every question in the paper. Don't leave your sheets blank, because half marks count, and you never know. 1 marks can take you above the cutoff marks. So attempt every question in the paper. You should not be like कि ये question तो मुझे बहुत अच्छे से आता है, इसके लिए तो मैं पूरा 2 पेज लिखूंगी, लेकिन ये नहीं आता तो मैं इसको छोड़ दूंगी. Fight for every marks in the paper. हर एक क्वेश्चन 10 मार्क्स का है या 12.5 मार्क्स का है, उसको उतनी रिस्पेक्ट आपको देनी पड़ेगी. ये नहीं है कि आप एक क्वेश्चन में बहुत अच्छा लिख दिया तो आपको 12 में से 15 मिलेंगे, ऐसे नहीं होगा. तो हर एक क्वेश्चन के लिए एक फिक्स्ड फॉर्मेट के हिसाब से चलिए, और हर एक क्वेश्चन गिव इम्पोर्टेंस टू एवरी क्वेश्चन, एंड यू विल गेट ऑलमोस्ट इक्वल मार्क्स इन एवरी क्वेश्चन देयर. अगर आपने 5-6 क्वेश्चन में 6 मार्क्स ले भी लिए और 3-4 क्वेश्चन में आपको 0 मिल गया, वो बैलेंस हो गया. वो 6 मार्क्स आपके जो आपने वैल्यू एडिशन की थी वो आपके शायद अब किसी काम की नहीं आएगी. सो try to attempt every question. For attempting every question, you need to do answer writing practice. Everybody keeps on asking how to do answer writing practice, how should I begin, I do not have the enough knowledge to write an answer. If you follow a systematic way of preparation, like I said, if you prepare a note on every topic of the syllabus, you are doing answer writing. By collecting a write-up on every topic of the syllabus, you are writing by your own hand. That is what is answer writing. You have a practice of answer writing. And to answer within a limited time frame, to get it checked by an expert, you can join a test series for that. So that you know if I am completing my paper within 3 hours or not, if I am able to structure my answers within 3 hours or not, how many questions are of good quality, how many questions are average, or how many questions are below average in my paper out of the 20 questions. That you will be able to know by giving test series. By joining a test series and giving papers, that will help you to finish your paper on time. You have to finish your paper on time within 3 hours, and you have to answer every question. Whether you know or you do not know. Like a serious aspirant, show it to the examiner also that I have prepared, I have studied hard, I know something of the question, and you should write that. You will know something of the question. If whether it's very out of the box question, still you will have some idea about for example, the allelopathy question which came, it was linked with soil quality in the next behalf. You must be knowing something about soil quality. What all factors affect soil quality, you must be knowing after reading a NCERT. You can write about that. You can, in the end, you can write, yes, allelopathy will enhance all these factors of soil quality. It is not a wrong answer, though it is also not a right answer also, but it will surely give you some marks. And that is how you can maximize your score in mains examination, whether it is essay, optional, or GS examination. And for ethics specifically, there are books available in the market, but I personally did not read any book because I had psychology background, so I had material from my optional subject. If people are not having background from psychology, they can buy any notes they are comfortable with in the market. You can survey the market, and whichever handwriting you find readable, whichever coaching institutes material you are comfortable, whether it is Vision or somebody else, you can go to the market and pick up that. The only theme for preparation is that you should be comfortable with what you are reading. If your roommate or your friend is reading something, it is not necessary that you should also read the same thing. You should read only the NCERTs, the basic fundamentals that is common to all. Above that, if somebody wants to read a high-level book or a multiple times high-level book, that is his or her choice. But the basics, you keep your basics strong, you keep your core strong, that will fetch you marks in your mains examination and in the prelims also. And for the prelims, people say you should attempt maximum questions, किसी में तो तुक्का भी मार देना और ऐसा कर लेना वैसा कर लेना. I attempted 73 questions in my 2016 attempt, and from the official key is not available till now. From the various sources, my score was 132. So I only attempted only those questions which I was confident about. I am not a person who can take risks and take the questions which I don't know. Some people suggest the strategy, but I think you should attempt those questions which you are 100% sure, 75% sure or 50% sure. Below that, you should not attempt that question because it can fetch you negative marks, and prelims is the most difficult stage of this examination because many aspirants appear for that. Even if you are very good at answer writing but you don't clear prelims, it is of no use. So prelims, I personally feel prelims was the most toughest for me because I was not very good at ticking answers or selecting one of the 4 alternatives. It was very difficult for me, but I did what suited me, what I thought will work out for me. You can similarly devise a strategy for yourself, but focus the most on the prelims part because unless you clear prelims, you won't be able to give a mains examination. So stay disciplined the most, study the most for the prelims, and likewise for every other stage, your burden will be decreased. If you study the most for the prelims, your mains will be less difficult and your interview will be even more less difficult than your main stage. So give your best for the prelims, prepare on every topic of the prelims so that it is related with your main study. Do not segregate कि ये prelims का है तो ये mains में नहीं आएगा. कुछ चीज़ें होती हैं जैसे environment, science and technology, factual details हैं जो prelims के लिए important है, शायद mains के लिए नहीं होंगी. But if you know the factual details, you can write that in your answers also. So you don't segregate the two things. कि prelims अलग होता है, mains अलग होता है और interview अलग होता है, ऐसे नहीं, ऐसे मत करना please. तीनों के लिए you just follow a pattern, integrate the 3 stages of the examination into one and prepare for all of 3 simultaneously. Don't segregate. 1 month before the prelim examination, you need to segregate. You can't study your optional before 1 month of your prelims examination. That is where you have to revise factual information. But for a longer duration, for a 1-year time frame, integrate all these 3 into one. That will help you to get better marks in prelims and in mains also. Going forward with the other 2 GS papers with 1 and 2. For paper 1 also, I studied the basic for the history for Bipin Chandra, the NCERTs for polity, Lakshmikant, the standard sources which all of you refer. I referred the same. I revised, the only thing I did was I revised everything multiple times. I made strong that if anything comes in the paper, I am able to recollect things and I am able to deliver that in the paper also. That will only come with revision. So don't indulge yourself in something which later on you cannot revise. Do only that, study only that which you can revise before your examination. If you'll do reading of 10 books and you're not able to revise them, it is not of no use. So study things which you can revise and integrate the things together and don't compartmentalize that this is for GS1, this is for GS2. Any article of polity can also be written in your ethical case study also. For example, fundamental rights, directive principles of state policy can be mentioned in your ethical answers also, in your case studies also. They can be mentioned in GS3 paper also. So for example, if a Buddhism, there was a question on Buddhism, Buddhist stupas in GS paper 1. It is related to art and culture, but somewhere down the line it has the same principles which our constitution also enshrines into it. So relate things together, relate all the papers together and follow a comprehensive strategy for all the papers. That you need to do. With doing this, everything will be sorted out. धीरे धीरे करने से सारी चीज़ें अपने आप हो जाएंगी. पहले दिन जस्ट डोंट पैनिक कि मैं इतना सब कुछ कैसे करूँगा, सारा सिलेबस एक साथ कैसे करूँगा. Step by step, your preparation will have its foundation. Go step by step. Do 3 topics, 4 topics a day, revise them before sleeping, go step by step. Don't rush into the preparation. Don't get demotivated easily. Just don't take any step in a hurry. Don't be motivated, all the time that you do not have time for anything else. You have a personal life. UPSC is not the end of your life. It's just a normal examination. It's just a normal career option for you. So don't make UPSC examination a matter of life or death for yourself. So go step by step. Don't rush into anything. Do things step by step and result will surely come. I was a normal girl. I had no background of humanities, nothing. I did things step by step. I believed in myself. So you should all also do that. You can do it. Everybody in this classroom can do it. You are no less than anybody else. You are no less than a topper or a ranker. You are no less than anybody. You can do it. You can surely do it. Just follow a systematic way of preparation. Move step by step. That is all I have to say. Thank you. If anybody has a doubt, you can ask me.
Sequence of study for GS papers. Many teachers say you write like per day you're studying GS1, per day GS2. So how do you do it?
I have read psychology, and from a psychological perspective, I can say you need 1 or 2 hours to warm up, to get into the feeling of a subject. If you will switch subjects very quickly, for example, half the day you are doing modern history and other half day you are doing polity, you will not be able to do good in any of them. You need certain degree of time, half an hour, 1 hour, to get familiar with the subject. You have to start, to get the feeling of what you are reading. So at least for 2 days, revise one subject and then move to another one. Switching subjects, too quickly will give you, will only confuse you. So just at least give 2 days to one subject. That will help you and that will give you more better results, I think.
When is the right time to start these essays?
I did after my prelims, but I know people who have cleared examination, they started it before prelims. I was not very confident before prelims of mains, so I did not join any test series before prelims. I joined it immediately after my prelims. Once I calculated my score that yes, I will be giving mains, I did my test series after that, and it helped me. So I think so. You can join a long term. If you have given 1 or 2 attempts, then you can join the test series before the prelims examination also, because you have a certain degree of base with yourself. But like if somebody is beginner giving examination for the first time, let your prelims finish and then go for a test series. Don't burden yourself too much. For art and culture, you can read the NCERT, the Fine Arts NCERT, the themes 1, 2, 3 for that, and revise them. And the CCRT website is also there. You can refer that. I think so. In these 4, 5 sources, your art and culture will be covered. Any question?
What reasons for you picking up psychology?
In my college, during my studies, we had a subject of organizational psychology. Although I'm from an engineering background, but for 2 semesters we had that. I liked the subject. I was interested in it, so I opted psychology for that. Any else?
If you can share your strategy for directly from the question paper that came in UPSC 16. Question that came in 2016, if you can share.
For which
how you
paper?
approach paper 4.
Paper 4. There was a question on anger management in paper 4. For what I did, I made a block diagram for that. I wrote anger in the middle box, and in one box I wrote the causes, and in another box I wrote the remedies. That was how I began my answer. I made a block diagram because it made my answer simpler. I could write other things, ethical issues, in the subsequent pages, because for causes and remedies, simple causes and remedies, I made a block diagram for that. Especially in ethics paper, I made a lot of diagrams, because in ethics the paper is very lengthy. You cannot finish it in on time if you do not structure your answer. So to skip my time and to save my energy, wherever I could, I made block diagrams so I could easily finish my paper on time. Anybody else?
Many of them were sort of like public administration type questions or from the ARC report. So apart from ARC, which one ethics, you have not any other ARC reports?
I tried to read the ARC reports, but I was not able to finish it, so I left it in between. And for the ARC report, what you can do is, in the ARC reports, at the end of the report, there is a summary of the recommendations. For the selected topics, for the citizen charters, for example, foundational values, corruptions, social governance, you can just have a look at the recommendations which the committee has made. Just having a look at the recommendations, you can use them in your other papers also. So there is no need to read the complete ARC report. You can go through the recommendations at the end of the report. That will help you. Anyone else? I used to write on A4 size sheet, loose sheets. So whenever a related topic came, I used to staple them together. So that is how all my material was at one place for a given topic. No, I did not use a register. I used loose sheets. That makes your task a bit easier. So whenever you get new information about a given topic, you can add a sheet and write on it. The questions in the prelims will be most probably from the one which are in the news. For example, recently UNESCO added a national park from Sikkim. Chandigarh was also added in the heritage list. So the questions will be from the current affairs, and of late, as I have observed, there is a special emphasis on the national parks and sanctuaries from the northeastern side. So that is the area where they are, putting their focus on. So you can also you can also focus on the sanctuaries or the national parks given in the northeastern region and which are in the news. That will also help you.
What are your strategy for essay writing?
For essay writing, as I mentioned that I did GS in a very systematic way. So I used my information from GS for essay. So as Anand sir mentioned, as he talked about essay, that you should give yourself some time before selecting a topic. In paper, it took me 15 minutes to select which topic I will write. And after that, on the last sheet of, for example, I have this essay sheet with me. Shweta? Essay sheet. This is my mock test paper, and this is how I had written in the last sheet. I had made a rough diagram. This is how I made a rough diagram of the topic. Take 5 to 10 minutes to select the topic, because you have to write a very long 1200 essay on a topic. Select the topic, as sir said, societal, economic, political, all the aspects. Anything, whatever you know about that, structure it, and then after half an hour, after a rough draft on every topic, then begin writing your answer. Just don't jump into writing an essay. Don't get too excited that I have to write an essay. Just think, make a rough draft of that, and then write the essay. It is available on the website, on the free resources link. You can see it from there. Any question?
Having an engineering background and also since you studied psychology, is there any special point which the engineering students should focus on during the preparation mode? Since you can understand their mindset very well and also engineering graduate.
Yes, I think engineers have an advantage because then they are familiar with the scientific topics of the syllabus, and you very well know engineering teaches you time management really well. It teaches you how to handle time pressure. So I can say engineers have that advantage while preparing for civil services. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Anuj, for such a wonderful talk. I'm Shweta Chauhan. I'm a graduate in Physics Honours from Hindu College in 2013. This was not my first attempt like Anju. I'm a veteran in UPSC. So I'll try to explain all the strategies I have followed. This was my third attempt. In first attempt, I got into IRTS. In second attempt, I got into IRS, Customs and Central Excise. Am I audible? Then this year, this was a surprise that from 573 and 474 to 8th rank was really a surprise for me. So I can tell the strategies which was failure for me and which secured me a 8th rank. Anand and Anuj has told you touched almost all the topics. I'll try to speak on topics like first on answer writing, then second on how to tackle current affairs. So first for answer writing, I would like to start from the starting when I started preparing. I started preparing in the last year of my college. For that, what did I do was like I summarized all the editorials daily. Means when I started, it was like I'll write a summary of one editorial daily. It was like it will become a note for me, and also it will help me in writing on any topic. Whenever I will face the topic again, I will have some points in my mind. Like if this topic comes, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 these points. I can write them because I have already those points have already gone below my pen. So I can remember them. I can write them again anytime, and I won't forget them. So उसको रिवाइज करने के लिए भी I didn't need so much time. एक बार और रिवाइज किया होगा तो हमेशा के लिए वो अभी तक भी मुझे याद है. वो 2013 वाला अभी तक मुझे याद है कि मैंने कौन सी कॉपी में क्या कहाँ लिखा हुआ है, क्योंकि मैं खुद से पढ़ा है मैंने वो न्यूज़पेपर, खुद से फिर उसकी समरी लिखी है. जो भी उसको लिख रहे थे उनके वर्ड्स मेरे खुद के वर्ड हो चुके थे वो. तो वो स्टार्टिंग थी. तो अगर आप स्टार्ट अभी कर रहे हैं तो मेरे ख्याल से अच्छी स्ट्रेटेजी थी कि मैं तब से स्टार्ट किया था लिखना. लेकिन धीरे धीरे क्या होता है कि वी थिंक कि आई नीड टू रीड मोर, राइटिंग इज़ नॉट फेचिंग मी गुड टाइम मैनेजमेंट, क्योंकि इतना ज़्यादा टाइम उसमें वेस्ट होगा. लेकिन जब इनिशियली वो चीज़ें मेरे हाथ में थी, टाइम था, तो अभी अगर आपके पास टाइम है तो आई विल सजेस्ट कि स्टार्ट राइटिंग अ समरी ऑफ एन एडिटोरियल. Develop a habit of summarizing something. Whatever you like, whatever topic you like, just start summarizing that. You will get into the art of writing. Otherwise it will be like you will read and after that you will think now I should plan to write. लेकिन आप स्टार्टिंग से ही सोचेंगे कि मुझे अल्टीमेटली लिखना ही है. अगर एग्जाम में आपको मार्क्स लिखने से मिल रहे हैं तो यू हैव टू स्टार्ट राइटिंग फ्रॉम द वेरी बिगनिंग. आफ्टर दैट कि वो टाइम वेस्ट हो रहा है, आई फेल्ट लाइक इट इज़ वेस्टेज ऑफ टाइम, so I left it. The result was that I got into 573 rank. I didn't realize that my fault was that I was not practicing answer writing. Then again, the same thing continued and I got 474 rank. Then I realized that what I missed was that I didn't do any test series. I didn't write anything again after that, after the first year of my preparation. So I thought of writing a test series for mains. This year I wrote almost 20 tests of vision. And it was like I thought that this is the actual exam I'm writing. Though I have already written 2 mains, but I took this third attempt as my first attempt, that I'm writing it for the first time, and I'll take every test as very serious. I went to the examination center. I wrote for full 3 hours, how much ever I could complete. I was testing myself that I could complete in 3 hours or not. What should be my strategy in writing any answer. Like how should I structure my answer. Whatever all experiment I wanted to do in the exam, I did them in my test series. Then the teachers gave me the feedback that this strategy is wrong, this strategy is right, this structure is wrong, or this structure is right. So I analyzed myself better, and I think that was a major reason that I could secure this rank this time. So I would tell you that focus more and much more on answer writing. Everybody, I also did the same. We think that if we read more, we will be able to recollect more. But that is a wrong presumption. You can read anything. So much is available only on Wikipedia. You can read anything, whatever you want. But what you need is to express those whatever knowledge you have in the examination. To express those knowledge, you need to know what to write, how to write, and what thing to write in anything. Means it should be, and that thing will come only when you practice answers. So from the day one, when you start reading any newspaper, whatever you read, make a habit of writing it. Make a habit of making notes. Make notes how much ever you can. Because those are the only things which will be available to you at the end period that you can revise. Because you cannot revise the same syllabus, this big syllabus of one year of your study again. You can only revise only of your notes. So make notes. Means with your own hand, you have to write there. So make a habit of writing with your own hands all the notes possible. Second thing is that how to structure an answer. For the starters, it is difficult to what to write. Either we can write anything, or whatever we know about the topic. It is not like that. You don't have to just fill the pages. So many people are writing the mains, around 15,000. So you have to be different. You have to show that you have the knowledge also. You have the expressing skills also. So to make a difference, structure your answer such that you have an introduction, you have a body of the answer, and you have a conclusion to the answer. Like Anuj also told that every word has a meaning, criticize, describe, all these things. Think about those words. Why is that question asked to you? Why is it like? Is it asking to describe? Is it asking to explain? Or is it asking to criticize? So read that word, understand the question, and structure it accordingly. Introduction, give the background of that. Maybe introduction can be a background of that question. Then body, give the main points you have. Go to the point. Don't beat around the bush. Don't do like I know this thing around this answer, so I can write anything. Go to the point, because you have to write 20 questions. You have limited time of 3 hours. So write points either in paragraph, or if you don't have time, write in points also. But it should be to the point, to the question. Whatever the question is asking, just answer according to that. Then in conclusion, like we have seen in this visions current affair booklet, they provide us with the way forward. This is a very good method to use it. Like how would you imagine that answer in the future? Way forward can be the part of your conclusion. If you have criticized any of the government scheme, then provide the positives of it, that everything is not that black in the scheme. There are positives also, and you are going to the part of administration. Provide the things you can provide to improve that scheme, or how those negatives can be turned into positives. So it can be the part of conclusion, that you have to show that future is not that dark what I have told already, like in criticism. Show that I can improve it in the conclusion part. It will show the examiner that you have some positive bent of mind, and if you are providing something for the future, then you have that knowledge that if these are the wrongs, I can have the positives also. So structure, I told you, it's like introduction, body, and conclusion. Try to maintain in it and all the questions you have. There will be questions where you won't have any knowledge about that, like McBride and this allelopathy you were discussing before. So for me it was like I just skipped the questions, because there are other questions which I can focus upon. I didn't have any idea at all, so I didn't write at all. What my thing or my strategy is that I'll write only to the point, and I'll not just waste the time writing anything. Then this practice, what to write and what not to write, will come only through the practice, which you will do through the test series, and other way of making notes or summarizing any important article you will find, or anything else you feel like writing. Means it should make a habit of writing it daily. Write something daily, either for your optional. For optional, it is much more important to write. I had geography as my optional. For that, it was like I had to prepare notes on every topic. I prepared notes on every topic of the geography. I had diagram for every topic. I had map for almost all the things, whichever it was required, wherever it was required. So in exam, it was easy for me that I knew if this topic is there, I have to make this diagram. If this topic is there, I have to make this map, and I have to put this thing in this answer. So for optional, I think it becomes more important, because for almost all of us, it is like we take a subject which is different from our graduation subject. So to know the new subject, you need to practice it like what you have done for your graduation, because we are studying the subject equivalent to equivalent to a graduation level. So answer writing becomes much more important for that. For essay also, I think we should give 1 or 2 mock for essay also, though I didn't give it, so that we know what is the actual environment. In that environment, how would we feel, how would the thoughts will come in under our pen. So just 2 or 3 essays would be better. Or if you don't want to give a test series, just take the topics of last year, try to write on that topic. How would you structure your essay? How would that flow come in your essay? How would the things will move when you write? Because it is easy to think. You can read anything. Nobody is asking you what you have read, how much you remember. But when you write, you will analyze yourself better, how much I have remembered, how much I was able to recollect when I write. You will able to examine yourself better. When you start writing, you can read on a topic for any number of pages. But when you write those about that topic, you'll understand that you cannot write more than 200 words. So to realize that it is necessary, whatever you study, whatever you think is beneficial and it will be important for the exam, try to summarize that, try to make notes of that. It will be main part in your answer writing skill. So I don't think so anything more is required to motivate you for answer writing. Any questions for answer writing?
Like as you said, and Anurag also said, jotting down the points are really important, or making notes is really important. For me, as an aspirant of UPSC, everything is important. Like, whole syllabus is important for me. Like, I have to jot down points for the whole syllabus, or can I leave some topics?
See, UPSC has provided you with the syllabus. You have limited topics. You need to know everything about that topic. Even if you find any news, anything about that topic, just try to read that. If you think that this is the basic of anything, just make it as a note. Means how much ever is possible, make notes of that. Because when you read anybody's else note, or you read a self-prepared magazine or thing, you are not able to relate to that.
But what I am like imagining is that I'll be having the whole syllabus in my notes, like the points in my notes. So like, it's a big task for me. So can I read some topics?
See, you cannot leave any topic of the syllabus. Every topic is important. The thing is that when you start, your notes will be in larger quantity. But with time, you will realize that everything is not important. And half of the things you might have completed already when you start the notes making. So with time, they will get reduced. But initially, if you have so much of time, so initially, if they are increasing, let them go, because with time, what will happen is that you will not need those notes, because now for you they are important. But when you start reading again other topics, you will you will feel that these are the basics. I don't need them again, because international affairs, like international affairs, it will always remain the same. No, the basic thing between two countries' economy or the polity will remain the same. Just few developments. You need not know the background again, and you will not refer your notes again for that background.
So like, can I do it from a book? Like you can suggest some books.
We have the standard books. No, some of the.
No, but like if they're not changing and they're like factual questions, factual, so I don't have to note it down.
That's what I'm not telling. I was telling to make notes around the current affairs, whatever new developments you see, whatever standards book you have, like Lakshmikant you have, you cannot jot down the full book. Just underline the important things, whatever you think, whatever you realize is related to the syllabus, whatever you realize is related to the previous year examination question papers. Just underline them, make a habit of revising them. You need not jot them down.
You are writing mains since 2013,
Yeah.
especially in geography optional. So, what change of strategy you made during this course of time from 2013 till 2016? And second point, which is lesser important, if you can suggest the book list for paper 1.
See, in my first attempt, I didn't do anything from my side. I did whatever the coaching teacher told me. I didn't see the syllabus also. It was not at all a preparation which was needed for the examination. So I got just 180 marks total, and now I got 326 marks. So initially what we think is whatever the teacher teaches us, we have to complete that. But you have to do a self-study also. You have to make notes of your own. You have to prepare, you have to show that you are different from the other person. For that, what did I do? I told you that now in the last attempt, I completed each and every part of the syllabus. Each and every topic, I had notes for every topic. Even if I will not find that topic in the standard book, then also I tried it. I will Google it out, or I will do something and I'll make a note of it. Because the recent paper, I have faced it that topics are asked from that part of the syllabus which is not covered anywhere in the coaching or in the book. So I Googled every topic, I made a note, then I prepared my own diagrams for anything. I made my flowcharts for that, whatever was needed. I made maps for my own. Then I have crisp notes for everything. And an exam was also easier this time, comparatively. But strategy was like that. I had already the experience of writing 2 mains and also the test series again of geography. And also I made a better notes.
And what about book list, if you can suggest?
See, book list for Savinder Singh is for physical geography. Then Majid Hussain for this human geography. 1 or 2 more books are there, but those are very deep. So these are the 2 basic books.
So you prepared your notes going through all these standard books or mostly through online?
No, through the standard books. First through the standard books, then through the topics by online, which are online. Also, there are few human geography books. I'll tell you later. I forgot the name.
Ma'am, could you please explain your strategy regarding essay and also how much marks did you score in essay?
Essay is like both of them already told you. The first thing is that you need to know whatever topic interests you more. How more you can relate to that topic. It is not like that this topic nobody is taking or nobody would take, I will take that topic. Choose that topic, what interests you more, what means you can connect to it. You should have an emotional connect to it. Like if I write something on women empowerment on that connection would come from me, from within. So I'll choose that topic, how much ever everybody is taking that or whatever it is. But I'll choose that topic which I can connect to. Then second thing is that write it in a very lucid language. You should maintain the flow and make it like introduce it such that it is a different from somebody else. Like if you are reading, if you read any editorial, you feel reading it. You read it if only you feel like that it is interesting to you. If you feel like that it is very difficult language, or if you feel like it is not interesting to me, you will like I will not read it. So same the teacher would feel, no. It would be like he will not feel like reading your essay. So it would be better to start it. So just make it a flow and write in connection. Means it should not be like haphazard type. So it should be in connection. Okay.
आपने बोला कि ये आपका थर्ड अटेम्प्ट था. आपने बोला आपका थर्ड अटेम्प्ट था, राइट? तो आप रेगुलर 3 साल वही सिलेबस पढ़ते हैं, रेगुलर वही सेम टॉपिक्स, वही चैप्टर्स, वही बुक्स, और ऐसा लगता है कई बार पढ़ के कि हमने ये तो पढ़ा हुआ है, आता है ऑलरेडी, फिर भी उस चीज़ को दोबारा से हैंडल करना, टैकल करना, वो कैसे करते हैं?
वो मैंने सबसे ज़्यादा डिफ़िकल्टी मतलब फेस की थी उसी चीज़ में कि मैंने दोबारा वो स्टैंडर्ड बुक्स नहीं पढ़ पाई थी, और जो इस बार बेसिक क्वेश्चंस आए थे उनको अटैम्प्ट करने में मुश्किल इसीलिए हुई थी क्योंकि स्टैंडर्ड बुक दोबारा पढ़ना बहुत मुश्किल हो जाता है. तो उसको आपको मोटिवेटेड रहने के लिए मैं वही बोल रही हूँ कि आपको ये सोचना पड़ेगा हर अटैम्प्ट को कि आपका फर्स्ट अटैम्प्ट है और लास्ट अटैम्प्ट है, और उसको करने के लिए जितने भी सोर्सेज आपने पहले किए हैं उनको रिवाइज, कितनी भी बुरा लगे कुछ भी हो आपको करना ही पड़ेगा। मतलब खुद को मोटिवेटेड रखना पड़ेगा कि अगर ये नहीं पढ़ा तो शायद नहीं क्लियर होगा, और कुछ भी इतना अनसर्टेन है तो आपको सब कुछ पढ़ना है। तो स्टैंडर्ड बुक्स को कभी भी मत छोड़िए, किसी भी अटैम्प्ट में मत छोड़िए, कभी भी कुछ भी बेसिक से आ सकता है तो पढ़ना पड़ेगा वो सब दोबारा। सी जस्ट रिवाइज योर नोट्स अगेन एंड अगेन, और साथ में अपना कूल मेंटेन रखिए। कुछ भी मत सोचिए कि आप मुझे आता है कि नहीं आता है, सब कुछ आपको आता है, बस जितने नोट्स हैं उनको ही पढ़िए। लास्ट के 2-3 दिन पढ़ना छोड़ देना, क्योंकि अपना दिमाग कूल रखना ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है। उतना ज़्यादा सोचने की, हम जब पहले क्या सोचते रहते हैं ये आएगा वो आएगा, उतना दिमाग आप उसी चीज़ों में लगाएं जो आए वहाँ पे। तो बिल्कुल कूल रखिए, आपकी पूरी तैयारी है, टेंशन मत लीजिए।
We'll take a few more questions, whatever you might have. All of us are here, and yes.
This question is for you. Like for having edge over others while writing essays, you told the structure is important. Introduction, diagram, the main content, and the conclusion. What else can we do?
You can start your essay with a quote that is related to your essay. Okay, and in my essay examination for part 2 of the essay section, I chose the topic on cybersecurity. What is the topic of cybersecurity? Of late, I read a article in the newspaper The Hindu that the daughter of a president of our country had some issues on online social media. I think so you must be familiar with that. I started my essay with that. I related to that how vulnerable is our cyberspace. Even the daughter of the president of our country can get such messages. That is how I began my essay. For second, I did not have any quote for cybersecurity, so I correlated with it with an example from my daily surroundings. And for the paper, for the topic 1 of the essay, I started with a quote, I ended with a quote, and for the cybersecurity, I used multiple examples. For example, the attack on the nuclear program of the Iranian country that was there. I used various examples for the cybersecurity. You can use that to make your essay unique, to have a value to it. You can use such things.
How much you got?
140. Any
Yes, at the end.
any more questions?
Yes, ma'am. I don't think this question is relevant to you. I mean, कि जैसे हिंदी मीडियम के स्टूडेंट्स जो हैं उनके लिए स्पेशली ऐसा है, यूट्यूब से भी देखा है, और जो एक्सपर्ट्स है वो भी यही बोलते हैं कि अपडेटेड स्टडी मटेरियल नहीं है, राइट। तो एक हिंदी मीडियम का स्टूडेंट पास्ट कुछ ईयर से टॉप नहीं कर पा रहा है, तो उसके पीछे बिहाइंड क्या रीजंस हो सकते हैं कि यूपीएससी में जो एग्जामिनर्स एग्जाम चेक करते हैं, राइट, वो एक उनके लिए एक प्रॉपर वो अंडरस्टैंडेबल नहीं रहता है कि अच्छे से उसको वो एक तरह से कंफर्ट जोन में उसको नहीं टैकल कर पाते हैं, राइट। तो आपके हिसाब से अपडेटेड स्टडी मटेरियल बनाने के लिए ना कोई सेमिनार होता है हिंदी मटेरियल के लिए जो हिंदी मीडियम के स्टूडेंट्स हैं, तो उसके लिए आपके हिसाब से क्या करना चाहिए हिंदी मीडियम स्टूडेंट्स को?
देखिए, हिंदी मीडियम का एक्चुअली आई एम फ्रॉम इंग्लिश मीडियम, तो मुझे इतना आइडिया नहीं रहेगा हिंदी मीडियम का। लेकिन इस साल हमारे रैंक 3 इज़ फ्रॉम तेलुगु बैकग्राउंड, और उन्होंने पेपर भी तेलुगु लैंग्वेज में लिखा है, तो उनके लिए तो हिंदी से भी ज़्यादा डिफिकल्ट रहा होगा, क्योंकि तेलुगु के लिए तो हम सोच भी नहीं सकते हैं क्या प्रॉब्लम्स रही हो, लेकिन स्टिल द पर्सन हैज़ डन इट। और हिंदी के लिए भी मटेरियल अवेलेबल है कुछ, आप प्लीज़ थोड़ा मार्केट में सर्वे कीजिए। आई थिंक तो विजन भी हिंदी में मटेरियल प्रोवाइड कराता है करंट अफेयर्स के लिए, तो आप प्रेफर कीजिए। अगर करोड़ बाग में ही ढूंढेंगे तो आपको ज़रूर मिलेगा, क्योंकि आई हैव सीन पीपल जो हिंदी मीडियम से थे और उन्हें मिला है मटेरियल, तो यू विल फाइंड इट, डोंट लूज होप। करंट अफेयर्स के लिए मैं न्यूज़पेपर, आई हैव रेड न्यूज़पेपर रेगुलरली, कभी कभी स्किप हो जाता था बीच में अगर मन नहीं होता था तो, लेकिन वैसे संडेज आई यूज टू स्किप न्यूज़पेपर ऑन संडेज। लेकिन आप सुबह उठ के न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ लीजिए, और मैंने पर्सनली विजन का मटेरियल फॉलो किया है करंट अफेयर्स के लिए। न्यूज़पेपर के साथ करंट अफेयर्स फ्रॉम विजन विल बी इनफ। नहीं मैं आई हैव नॉट मेड नोट्स आउट ऑफ विजन, मैं सिर्फ अंडरलाइन किया हुआ है, और जब मैं सेकंड टाइम उसे रिवाइज करती थी तो आई यूज्ड टू सी ओनली द थिंग्स व्हिच आई हैड अंडरलाइंड बिफोर. आई एम नॉट गुड एट, मैंने वही क्वेश्चंस किए जो मुझे आते थे. इफ एनी वन ऑफ देम कैन आंसर दैट.
एलिमिनेशन टेक्निक इन प्रीलिम्स. उसमें तो कॉमन सेंस ही आपकी यूज़ होगी. मतलब पहले आपको बोला है कि आप 100% जो आपको श्योर है वो आप वही क्वेश्चन अटैम्प्ट करिए. उसके बाद आपको 75% किसी में श्योरिटी लग रही है तो वो क्वेश्चन आप अटैम्प्ट करिए. लेकिन उससे कम हो रहा है कि 50-50 जा रहा है, तो अगर आपके बहुत कम अटैम्प्ट हुए हैं तो 50-50 मार्क कर दीजिए, उससे नीचे मत मार्क कीजिए. ठीक है. और एलिमिनेशन में अगर आपको लग रहा है कि आपने गलती से भी कहीं ये चीज़ पढ़ी है तो उसको मतलब सोच के समझ के उसको एलिमिनेट कर सकते हैं आप. एलिमिनेशन में ही ज़्यादा क्वेश्चन सॉल्व हो पाता है रेदर देन कि आपको कुछ उसके बारे में ही पूरा याद हो. तो पूरा मतलब याद हो तभी उसको क्वेश्चन को करें.
Two questions, yes.
Apart from coaching, like anything else you have done, like online subscription or any online test, like anything, like we have like Insight, Unacademy, I'm saying state.
Yeah, I joined Insight this time. So for prelims, I subscribed to their test series. I wrote 10 tests, I think. So, but apart from that, in my earlier attempts, nothing online as such. I have done mains test series, written mode, and apart from that, mostly I've stuck to the basic material. And I think Insights test series, if you feel that you have time for that, yes, you can refer to that. And of course, Vision test series we have. That's a very good collection of questions. Yes.
So at times reading Lakshmikant becomes a mundane job.
Oh yeah, tell me about it. Yes.
There is so many committees and their recommendation. How can we deal with it? How can we be able to recall all these things?
See, I understand that it is a problem because it's basically, UPSC is encryption by volume. There is so much to do that it's encrypted basically. So the only solution to that, I feel, is revision. You have really no choice but to learn it, but to revise it again and again, to commit it to memory, because otherwise you'll keep forgetting, and that's no surprise, everyone does. So you have to plan your revisions in a manner that before the exam you are acquainted with the syllabus enough number of times and are able to recall at that point. Okay, last question. Yes.
So things start from a strong note, but we go through mood swings, and in the end things crash. So I want to ask all three of you personally what you did to keep yourself motivated.
So yes, I think that's a very apt last question, and we all suffer from this particular mood swings and lack of motivation. But I would just say that all of us have our own way of dealing with failure and motivating ourselves. So whatever it is that works for you. I remember reading a topper's a blog some time ago. I think he was ranked 50. I cannot recall the name exactly. But he had written that whenever you feel low and whenever your preparation is going into the dumps, please think about that holy PDF, the PDF that came out 5 days ago. And there are two motivating factors behind that PDF. One is fear, because if you do a Control F and your name will not be there, you will hear that ting. So please fear that ting. It's a very dangerous ting. And the second motivating factor is hope. That if you find your name in that PDF, just imagine how your life will change and what you can do for your country and how your dreams will come true. So anything that works for you, this worked for me, and I thank you all for coming. Yes.
This is like my biggest concern. Like I have to motivate myself for 3 years. So it's not.
Yes. So it's a pretty long journey, but I'll not say that you cannot, like I said earlier, also clear it in the first attempt, like ma'am has, or a lot of other people do. So to keep yourself motivated, of course, you should have clarity of purpose, clarity of goal. कि अगर आपने सोच लिया है कि this is the career for you, because I was working in the private sector, but I never felt that this is my calling. I never felt that I was made to do this. But I was doing it because, of course, we all need a backup, and so I did it for that time, and that was the right thing to do at that time. So everyone's variables are different, everyone's lives have different contexts, but we all have to work with our resources, whatever we have, do best with that. If you can't quit your job, you have to study with the job, and that's how it is. So whatever it is, just fit into the whole environment around you, and just believe and keep working. And
Give a break for some time, follow your hobbies.
yes, absolutely, hobbies help.
Don't study on that day. If you don't want to study, don't study. You will realize it later that, oh, I can study, I should study now. So give a break, follow your hobbies. You will be self-motivated with time.
Okay, thank you all so much for coming, and it has been a wonderful session. You are all very patient, and thank you so much.